one of the other platoons in my company. There was one joker who did that.
Or what was it? I remember one of our guys did. What it is, the DIs left behind some of their metal heel clips they put on their boots, and he slapped them on and walked around and scared the shit out of people.
Imagine some type of bubble wrap that is weak enough for cats to pop when
Are
they
we
walk
supposed to
on
be
it.
sharing Hangouts on the screen there, Jared?
Is it doing the wrong one?
Yeah.
What? Fucking. Gotta love how the hotkeys in OBS seemed to have gotten fucked up for no reason.
Update.
No. Here's the fucking hilarious thing. I have Alt and a couple things set up. I'm looking at my hotkeys right now. There's Alt and a couple of letters to switch between shit.
Ouch.
I Alt tab sometimes. Or, Control C, Control V. There's no control anything set up on the hotkeys, and yet it wanted to change.
Well,
fucking OBS.
You really need to get,
The Stream Deck would help you.
someone
Fucking
to...
OBS. Yeah, you know what else would also help? My former company actually paying me the damn near $8,000 they owe me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah. But find a friend that could help you with an Arduino thing and some buttons and make a keyboard for you.
There you go.
That can be used for both video cues or instead of hotkeys, etc., etc. That way, you don't have to worry about that. Keyboard crap.
Almost like those. I know what you're talking about. Almost like those soundboard type things where you can just set up macro keys and stuff.
Yeah, basically the same as what Jay has on his right side of the console he's using.
Gotcha. Yeah,
But
I've got
can be used for everything.
the closest thing I have to something like that would be the Nostromo keypad.
Yeah, I mean you can buy your way out of it. I mean they're available for non-professionals too, but they're still way too expensive.
Oh yeah.
And they can be made for just the parts alone by using Arduino. It's actually really cheap that way.
Well, technically anything is available for the non-professionals. It's just a question of, do you have the money and do you want to spend it on that?
Yeah. Or in my case, do you have a friend who can do that stuff, and are you willing to spend money for a pizza and a beer to have them help you?
Wait, we're talking about actual technology, not moving.
Yeah.
That's the kind of payment you get to help someone move, which I'll be honest, even I think that's a little cheap.
Yeah.
There we go.
But so Burns, would you like to mention what you brought up and suggested we talk about?
Oh no, I meant to put it in another channel, so I didn't even think about it. But yeah, it's still a good episode to watch. Conspiracies.
It was. So for those,
I watched the whole conspiracies line that they have up so far. It's hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah,
I watched the postal edition too. That one's hilarious.
Oh my god, that is funny. There's also a customer support one too now.
Oh, they have a few of them. So for those who don't know, Man Shorts has a D&D series that is just... whoever the primary writer is, good on ya. Freaking great job. I will say, the military series, the way they screwed with Waylon... And then they
just screw with Waylon for the hell of it.
Not so much in the conspiracy one, though.
No, but in the postal one.
Oh yeah. God, yeah, the postal one. He got.
Here, I'll share the page and I'll get the link to the channel.
Yeah, they just posted a video today, and they just got their 100,000 viewer plaque, their silver button.
Nice.
Yeah, they have the video up for that too.
Yeah,
This channel is just great.
Yeah, and I will give them this. With how well written each one of them are, it makes you wish they were longer. Which
Oh yeah,
which is a
that's why they do
great
it in
sign.
series,
Yeah.
like Military Edition Part 5.
Yeah, the Coast Guard one was funny.
Yeah, because everyone was like, wait a minute, what the This is
They
the
all-
Coast
they all
Guard!
they all end up with the red shirt. Oh, go wherever they tell me to go. That's good attitude. Going to Virginia.
Whereas everyone else ends up in BFE nowhere.
So there's the link in the live chat for everybody for Man Shorts. Go have fun.
Oh yeah,
But
you'll be laughing.
But-
after you watch this and after you watch my video from today too.
Of course.
oh yeah. If people haven't watched that yet, they need to.
I was
But-
just over on the shills when we were talking about it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll admit, I took a bit of a power nap before going on air, and I'm gonna end up passing out right after the show, anyways. But it was just one of those days. Let me say this: people who can do a call center job
And they're done that.
and not want to kill themselves with how much they talk during an 8-hour shift, more power
8 hours,
to
that's funny.
more power to. I'm just using a regular 8-hour shift because I literally spent 8 hours on the phone trying to get somewhere on a couple issues. Finally made some fucking progress.
I'm up to 23.6 hours of watch time on my
Nice.
video.
Nice. But no, the reason why I really found the timing of that conspiracy one being posted rather entertaining as a topic suggestion, even though it was misposted. The other night, really short notice, like 20-minute notice, I went on to the In Time channel with Nick Suter and Ansgar Odinson, and the topic was the airliner that crashed in Iran, short ways outside of Tehran. At
the Ukrainian one.
Yeah, the Ukrainian airliner. At the time of the show, I'd only seen a couple videos which really didn't show much of anything. It was rather inconclusive. So we were talking pretty much about some of the misinformation that was going around about it. Well, yesterday I ended up seeing more footage that was actually more clear and gave more context to some of the other footage that I had seen and other accounts that I had read. Yeah, that was no internal mechanical failure.
Yeah. I haven't really paid that
there
much
are
attention
pictures
to
of-
this incident, but I do find it somewhat suspicious that Iran, even though they said that, we will blah, 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 be very open about this and, share all the information, but they didn't want to share the
flight data
flight
recorder.
data recorder or cockpit voice recorder.
Yeah.
And they managed to completely clean off the crash site 2 days after the incident, and as far as I can remember, they haven't told anyone where it is now. The debris.
There are two pictures out on
Something
the
stinks
internet
here.
of the guy.
Go ahead, Geist.
Is that okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, there are pictures on the internet of. There are two pictures on the internet of the guidance sections of the missile that hit it.
Yeah. Yeah, now
I don't know if you guys saw them or not.
I did not see them until last night. Like I said, it was after the show in time. That actually, Geist, you had the invite to, but weren't able to make it because it was so. At first, the timing of it in relation to the attacks that took place were suspect. And then how quickly one of the sources said, oh, it was a technical malfunction. It was a mechanical malfunction that brought it down. Shortly thereafter, it was announced that it crashed in the first place, raised questions. And then, with everything else that I saw, and on top of Iran saying, "Oh yeah, we're not sharing the black box." To me, once that was said, I really perked up and was like, "Okay, what the hell are you guys trying to hide?" Then I see the other videos and it's like, "Oh yeah, it was taken down." The question is, was it air to air or was it ground to air?
It was ground air.
And also,
Yeah, but the thing is,
why?
you gotta kind of remember. You got to kind of also remember what part of the world we're talking about when these things come out. Of these people, the Iranians, Iraqis, people like that, Afghanis, when something bad happens, they kind of like to sweep things under the rug before everything kind of comes out. So as far as I know, that we know now it's different, but it could be a mechanical problem or something happened or somebody did something stupid, and it's just their nature to kind of cover shit up. But now it's come out more that there is the footage of the two intercepts coming up and meeting it. But the only way that would be debunked if it finds those videos from someplace else, say like the Iron Dome system in Israel. All of a sudden, those videos come out and find out that those are actually videos of Iron Dome intercepting things, and then there's a problem. So, but right now, as it stands, kind of being on the way of that it was intercepted by a fucking firing battery who were a little too quick to fucking push the button and hero the nation, and that's
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where, after I'd seen everything, I actually had reached out to Nick Suter and said, yep, it was taken down. Whether or not it was accidental or not is still to be determined. Because just like what happened with the U.S. cruiser that took down a commercial airliner because they misidentified it as an Iranian F-14. That shit does happen.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The technology is increased a little bit, and those things that they fucking fired weren't manned. That was launch control. Those things was some officer, and they got a blip on the phone screen, and everybody's in a fucking panic because they think the Americans are retaliating for the missile strikes against Al-Assad and the other not Al-Assad, Al-Assad and Erbil in Iraq. So everybody's on fucking high alert, and all of a sudden here's some shit popping up on their radar screen, and nobody's. It's kind of hard to explain. When you're dealing with like Patriot, then Patriot tracks all the ins and outs, corridors. And if something's flying air corridor, we'll get Patriot batteries, panties on a wad until it comes out, because civilian airliners sometimes don't fly what they're supposed to. So sometimes people get locked on, and Patriots have locked on. So, civil airliners before, but it's basically they can process the data, find out just how big it is and how slow it is. They can figure it out. But I'll guarantee you, unless this comes out differently, but I guarantee you it was a mistake. It was some fucking officer trying to be all that in a bag of chips, found something on his fucking radar screen, and told those fucking people to go ahead and lock on fire because he thought he was fucking engaging the infidels. That's my professional opinion.
Yeah, and with your experience on that, that's why, if you were available, I would have loved to have you on to give that aspect to it. So there may be a follow-up done to it with a little more warning there, Geist. So I'll let you know if that's the case and when that does happen.
Because you got to remember, there's a difference between man pads, which is like the Stinger and shit like that, versus what they fucking fired. That takes what they call command authority, which means, a battery commander or I wouldn't say battery commander, but in their level would be a battery commander or some kind of officer versus like a Stinger, which this is a fucking enlisted person who fucking identifies something as bad and fucking shoots it down. That's a big difference. So there was somebody had to fucking say go ahead and fire, and then somebody actually had to fucking initiate the lock, verify the lock, and go ahead and engage. And I guarantee they probably didn't even fucking interrogate the thing, or if they did, they got it unknown, which would be expected from a civilian airliner.
Well, yeah, because civilian airliner doesn't operate the mode that the military does on IFF, so it is going to give you no result. That's where, at least on the American side, on our own interrogation, we always interrogate both the civilian and military channels.
I'm gonna say,
Well, the Army's the IFF system for Stingers, it's either friendly or unknown. So if you engage, when you get a Stinger and you put it on your shoulder and you're about to engage a target, there's a little button above your thumb. You push that. That basically the interrogator sends out a request to the aircraft to who are you, and basically list. If you don't get anything, you basically get in your earpiece. It says like beep beep, and it basically tells you it's unknown. And if it's friendly, it comes back as beep beep beep, and that right there tells you it's friendly. So go ahead and stop working with the missile, or go ahead missile down because you don't engage it. But if it comes back as beep beep beep, that means it's unknown. That means continue to track it. Now you have to visually identify the target. And even then, you have to wait for the thing to do actually make it a hostile act in some cases. So it all depends on our.
yeah, I was going to say our radar systems in the RAF would interrogate both, would report both civilian and military idents, even back as far as the mid-70s.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's
the Patriot system doesn't. And Patriot system interrogates, but it doesn't interrogate. It basically interrogates and listens for a response. So it sends out a signal to the aircraft to say it's all encoded, saying who are you, and it waits for the aircraft to come back squawking the appropriate mode for they call it the mode for response, which is friendly. Yeah, it's all.
Patriot.
The coding is all secrets like that.
Patriot is set up essentially as a pass-fail on mode 4, whereas the systems that myself and Alan worked on were a little more intricate.
Mode 3 mostly.
Yeah, well, the nice thing on my side is we actually tested modes 2, 3, and 4. So the capability for all of them was there on the Navy side, with this being after the issue in Iran, with that airliner back in, what was that, 80?
Ish, yeah, it was late 80s. It was after I joined up, so it was 84 onwards.
Yeah, you're tracking one contact, but you have your cursor still over the airfield, so you're getting the IFF from an Iranian F-14 literally sitting on the tarmac. Yeah, you might want to fix that.
Yeah, it's.
What about mode S,
thing is,
wouldn't that have?
What was that, Bo?
I'm not sure if I'm. Yeah, I think my computer is still moaning here. What about mode S? Wasn't that introduced in order to positively verify if it's an actual friend?
Patriot Stinger.
Mode S. Mode S.
Well, the thing is, though, it will either be friend or unknown. The target will be friend or unknown. Because you can have a friendly he might be squawking on the wrong code, the code for the day, and even then, see, like in a Stinger, if it comes back as unknown, doesn't mean instantly that it's enemy. You still have to visually verify what the target is. So, I have gone to Korea on a flight line with the Stinger was called the THT track. It's basically a Stinger missile without the warhead, and without the warhead and without the missile body. It's just the speaker head at the end of the missile tube. And I've taken that Stinger and gone out to an airfield for training with soldiers in Korea and in IFF, Blackhawks and Apaches sitting on the tarmac who were all spun up for us, and they came back as unknown. And then we had a flight of defenders flying, South Korean defenders flying, which basically looks like those bug helicopters, those McDonnell Douglas ones. McDonnell Douglas ND-500s.
Oh yeah, it's
But anyways,
almost the
those
same
were
as
in a flight
Cayuse,
going
but
over
the
a place
tail
called
is different.
Camp Casey, and they're well, I was trying to go with my story. With the story here is that I couldn't get a friendly response from Apaches and Blackhawk. The tarmac spun up just for my class. I could get a response from South Korean flying working. Because they were working on time and code set, and when I just pushed the button, they got a friendly response. And then they took those same missiles and pointed to the fucking Apache Blackhawks sitting on the tarmac, 300 meters away. That was doing the right thing, and we got unknown from them.
All right, guys, what's your signal? What's your signal strength at? Because you're starting to robot.
Oh, it's not just me then. Okay.
No, it's not just you.
I'm at 2 bars. I'm not 2 bars myself. The same thing I've had been.
Right. Maybe try reconnecting.
I do.
Hanging up.
I do recall in '97 using the Stingers at a local airport, and we had our batteries. Damn it, radar cars out there as well, and everything was going fine until our company commander got an angry phone call from further up in the system, because one of the Turkish airlines had gotten an alarm in their aircraft, because they also charter, they also rent out aircraft for war zones. So they actually got some type of a radar lock from the radars that we were using. But I don't know if that's because it's just seeing the radar signal, thinking it's a missile, or I don't know. But I'm thinking it was about that before Mode S was introduced. But still, I don't know that much about the technical aspects of it.
Well, S is a band, not a mode of the radar, which would indicate a potential type of radar that was actually tracking you, which would tie in with a potential missile warning system. If I remember right, it was the S band. No, it was the X band that they used to get the F-117 in Serbia, as well as poor operations.
I would imagine. I would imagine that these days, at least in the West, that all air defense missile systems have a connection to the FAA somehow for all the for all commercial airlines data, so that everything that has been logged, so on, they can see that. No.
I
saw a documentary a few years ago about back when Cheyenne Mountain was still used by NORAD. And they showed that all the FAA flights, all the flights from, all the airlines across the world,
NORAD
crosses out of the Indian border.
NORAD is one thing. NORAD has a larger capacity, because NORAD is not its own radar station. It is gathering the information from the outlying radar stations. So they are purely signal processing and identification and tracking. They have the capability to have all the individual codes stored for reference. Your general operation location, like at a air defense location, they're just gonna have the they might have the airline
their own local. What they gather.
what they're expected to see, and it's mainly nationality, platform type, and mainly those two. You might get lucky with the individual airline, but that is really lucky.
Yeah, I got something to talk. I got something to say before we continue this conversation.
Just thinking that
everybody needs to make sure.
Go ahead, guys.
Uh-oh.
I was just going to say, before we continue on with this, everybody please make sure that you're not discussing things that people don't need to know.
Yeah.
OPSEC.
Well,
Is it time for our annual OPSEC
but
brief?
as long as none of us have actually been educated in this.
Wait.
Still, yeah.
Your OPSEC was only annual? Fuck, I had to deal with some of that shit monthly at one point because people wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Hey, it's great.
No, I got to do information insurance annually just so I can keep my computer access.
I say it's great when everything you've ever worked on has been declassified, isn't it?
When everything you worked on was from the Civil War, it's going to be declassified.
Yeah, all right, wasn't it? It was. The radar I worked on was older than I was. Yes, that was why I was the last person to ever work on it.
Yeah, not just the system, but
we just need the kind of
parts of it as well.
I'm just trying to say that the stuff that we know that some of us have worked on that still is out there. We don't really need to be discussing exactly what the radar sees, how it sees, and what bands it sees, and what it does.
Yeah, not even, and and it doesn't really, of course, doesn't really matter if it was said, it was something that we learned in a course somewhere in the system or just heard from somebody else. You're right. You should.
I'm just putting it out there. The people who are relatively still new to this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. I remember bits of.
I have a good question.
What's the question?
Just to keep to keep it down to the low tech stuff. But back when you said that
just
it
don't want
was
something
a U.S.
slip out on Hangouts.
Yeah, I was thinking about what a couple of years ago that you told about that mistook a U.S. carrier was it that mistook a passenger aircraft for a fighter jet?
No. Back at
Stark.
Yeah, it was a cruiser.
USS Vincennes.
USS Vincennes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stark.
Because I'm thinking there is a vast difference between how a fighter aircraft moves and a passenger aircraft moves.
Except
even just from a lonely Cessna 172 and a
Bo. There are declassified bits of this. There is actually a very in-depth explanation on a documentary about what happened, and the combination of it was the radar system as it was set up at that time. The operator had left his cursor over the airfield and was picking up the IFF of the F-14 while tracking the contact of a commercial airliner that was going through its departure motions, so it looked like it was posturing because of how many turns they need to take to vector out of that airspace.
Yeah, okay. Ouch.
Yeah, massive fucking mistake.
There were multiple mistakes involved in that, so it wasn't just one person.
Yeah, well, hey, I don't think an accident will ever happen unless it's not one big mistake, but many small mistakes leading up to a big one. It's just a long series of minor mistakes that individually would mean absolutely nothing unless they happened, to that one aircraft or to that one day or whatever it might be. I can see that would be happening.
Ooh, that's a pretty one.
With something like the Vincennes incident, that's actually one of the times when
French,
going back to good old-fashioned PPI displays with raw radar data on them is an advantage, because a skilled operator can then actually tell the difference between a big fat airliner, or at least a big fat transport target, and a fighter jet, because they do look quite different.
Yeah, there's something I haven't heard before. PPI, is that where the larger the target, the larger on the screen it would be?
It's the type of display where you see, where it looks like you have a line going round that paints everything up bright on the circular display, and it goes round. And invariably, when you see them on movies, they are really, really badly set up, because you don't actually see the line going round like you do in the movies.
Yeah, okay. Because I was thinking about, when the British really started getting in, heavy into the radar business, but they still just had more or less just an FFS screen, a spectrum analyzer of sorts. That more or less what it looked like. We just had one line going through the center. And if there was a small target, it would just be a small peak. If it was a cluster of airplanes, it would be many peaks, for example.
That's basically literally an oscilloscope display hooked up to the radar return.
Yeah. But what I would be impressed by back then,
if you imagine a PPI is, if you imagine you sweep an oscilloscope screen round, so that you are using an XY deflection, and then and then you use the peak to either brighten up. You use the peak voltage to change the brightness of the screen, so that you can then, while looking at the screen, you can then see the range and bearing to the target just by looking at it. Because with an A scope, you can't see the bearing you can see the range, but you can't see the bearing to the target.
Okay.
So
is it also true then? Yeah, but is it also true that back then they could actually some of them the operators could actually look at those screens and make an educated guess as to which type of aircraft it was, or what aircraft specifically it was?
I mean, I now, the veterans group I go to on a Thursday, one of the other guys there is a former Scopy, and we chatted, and yet he preferred the old system that we had on the PPI display, because you literally got raw. They got a raw signal, and by looking at it, they would be able to. They could certainly tell transports from fighters. You could get. It gives you an idea of how large the target is from the way it returns, and obviously,
unless they're flying very close to each other.
The more time you spend looking, the more time you spend looking at it and doing it, the better you get at it. Obviously, as I was I was not an operator, so I was only a technician. So
only you're the most important part.
Well, yeah. Well, sorry, I was a technician. I wasn't a Scopy. But no, I wouldn't have been able to tell you very much about returns on a screen. Oh, it's a blip and it's moving. Because that was all I was interested in. It's showing the blips and they're moving. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, one night the United States Air Force decided that they would insist that all of the technicians were removed from our control room because they didn't want us seeing certain F-111s taking off and going to Libya. Well, the really funny thing is if they hadn't have said anything and hadn't have chucked us out of the control room, we wouldn't have known anything was going on, and we wouldn't have noticed the F-111s anyway because we wouldn't have known what.
It's just like looking at just like looking at army maps of a big forest, and you see how much. How it's just a big area where there's small shrubbery or trees, and then all of a sudden a blank spot. Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's like when a surtask comes in and out. No one saw anything.
Yeah, so we got all dragged out, and it was like, so what the hell's going on? Why are we? Oh no, we can't tell you that. Can't tell you that. And of course, then the next day we hear on the news about the attempt to blow Gaddafi up.
Oh, it's
like, oh well, that's
you mean with Leslie Nielsen?
oh no, it's kind of like what a couple stories that I was told and one I was directly involved with. Start with that one. Walking around the mess decks, hearing a pinging off the hull, and I'm like, that don't sound right. And I'm walking with an AW aviation air crewman who actually was the flying version of an EW, an electronics warfare operator, and something about the ping just didn't sound right. A few days later on CNN, U.S. carrier battle group trailed by Chinese submarine that surfaced within 1 nautical mile. Yeah, that was fun. And then the other one is one of my RDCs from boot camp. My drill instructor was on the Enterprise when the attacks on 9/11 happened, and he could tell the moment that the orders came through because the boat did a very rapid change of direction to turn back around and head back to the Persian Gulf.
Yeah. I also remember, about an incident about the Pearl Harbor raid. That the American radar station, they actually picked up the Japanese fleet or fighter crafts, right? But they unfortunately the operator was told, probably, that was probably just one of our own bombers because they're supposed to.
Well, one of them picked it up.
Yeah,
one of them picked it up, but by the time the memo got to anybody who had actually made any decisions, the attack had already happened. So.
Did you guys see the link that I posted into the chat? Jay?
No, I haven't read it yet, and it wasn't really shown enough. Care to talk about it a little bit there, Furball?
I just saw it on CNN. It's Russian warship aggressively approaches USS destroyer in the Arabian Sea. And the video shows this Russian warship charging straight up behind an American warship. And the video said it got about 60 yards from it before it finally diverted away.
Oh yeah, that's nothing new. Over the last year, there have been, counting that one, at least 3 incidents of that happen. One of them, it got even closer to where there was almost a collision almost a year ago.
That's close enough. You could actually probably hand throw a mooring line over.
I'd say something, but I've been on a boat that's done underhull surveys of Russian battle groups before. So. I don't think I have any room to talk
about, man.
U-688 guys had all that sort of fun.
The US boats.
No, so you got to remember, the 688 guys, you guys got to have that fun, whereas the people like Jay, they got the boring job of just go be a hole in the water.
Well, no. During our TRE, we were doing underhull of the carrier battle group off the coast of Hawaii. We had fun with that.
Yeah, but you gotta admit, 688 is just a little bit more nimble than you.
Just a little bit, but you know,
They're
we pack a
quieter,
bigger
though.
punch.
A bit quieter, yeah.
Mm.
You pack a bigger bunch overall.
No, it's a bigger punch. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if Marvel is out there, but are we gonna see how well adapted the puppy is being?
Oh, I'm on my laptop right now. God damn it.
You still haven't
And
fully.
does it have a camera?
Well, hang on. The question is, how many more months before the full setup is completed?
Oh god, I haven't even gotten my stuff from Korea yet.
Really?
No, I called about it a couple days ago. It's in Baltimore now. It's being held up, or it's at customs waiting for release. So I might have it by the end of next week or the week after. But all of my stuff from Korea still isn't here.
That shit is sitting at Suwon.
It's only been 60 days.
Yeah, it's about enough time for.
I went to the transportation. I went to the transportation to get my shit, and they told me it was on its way, and I found out that shit was still sitting in Suwon.
It's gonna be cool for those two people. I'm gonna make my chair.
Yeah. I'm walking out in the living room to get the dog. Come here. Come here. Get back here.
You don't just run from me.
Get back here.
What I'm not sure about, because the information is classified, as whether a 688 or a Ohio can carry more torpedoes.
Yeah, you two will have to talk.
688 would carry more torpedoes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm not sure because I can't tell you how many we can carry, and you can't tell me how many you could carry. So.
Well,
right. I'm trying to remember what I learned back in sub school.
Hang on.
20 years ago.
You two could tell each other in the background. You just then couldn't share it with many other people, if any.
Well, no, technically, we couldn't tell each other in the background.
Yeah.
All right, here's the dog.
Aw.
Speaking of puppies, Elusive Man's puppy was pretty cute.
Oh, the little Chihuahua? Yeah.
Yeah.
This one and my younger husky are absolutely best friends, and watching them play is so much fun. It really is borderline between, are they playing or is that attempted murder?
A little bit of both. Now, I will say this. I am glad those two have taken to each other the way they did. Otherwise, that one right there would be a massive pain in the ass for you, just because of the typical breed personality. But
yeah, I've had a lot of vets tell me that these are an aggressive breed, but she has there's been no aggression.
It's not so much that they're aggressive; they're very alpha. They are very domineering, and they will assert themselves if there is not a clear pecking order. You establish the pecking order early and stuck to it. That's what has helped.
Yeah.
My first. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. My first tour in Korea, our unit had a dog like that, and his name was Trackpad. It was the mascot, and that dog was the friendliest dog to all the soldiers and everybody else who walk around. But as soon as he fucking saw a Cartusa or a fucking a Korean dude on, he wanted to rip his fucking legs off.
Last night, our blind husky was in a very, very playful mood. So I was being a dick, and I was standing in front of her and like randomly kicking her left then right shoulder, just softly, so she didn't know where it was coming from. And then the other two dogs got behind her and nipped at her ass.
Quote unquote aggressive breeds are okay, just not Chihuahuas.
Oh no, those are assholes. That's not aggressive.
Yes.
That's just asshole.
They can be, if not, again, if raised in the proper environment with the proper boundaries, then any dog can be a wonderful, great dog. It really is more on the owner and how they go to the socialization, training, and that aspect. Because a lot of behavioral issues with dogs you can really trace back to how they were raised, the environment they're brought up in, and what kind of rules there are and how consistent are those rules. It is very rarely it not un it is very uncommon. It is not always the dog's fault. It rarely is. Because
Even when dogs get into trouble, and 80 to 90% of the time when a dog does something wrong, you can blame it on the owner. So if you go away and you leave your dog out and it eats something,
that's on you.
It ate something you left out. It didn't get into the cupboards and get something it shouldn't have, or you didn't give it something to do while you were gone.
Super Russell James, I have to make a correction. The majority of cats are not pure assholes. They're fluffy assholes.
Yeah, our husky, the blind diabetic husky, she's always had a problem since she's been diabetic, going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. While I was gone, she would, in the middle of the night, she would make her way to the bottom of the stairs, going from the living room or the bedroom into the main level of the house. And then as soon as she hit the bottom of the stairs, she'd pee on the carpet. And she had a dog door to get outside. And as soon as she peed on the carpet, she'd go outside, but she just couldn't make it all the way. So my wife started blocking her into the kitchen where she wasn't on the carpet. And she would just go out. She'd never peed in the kitchen. She would just go outside. And when I got home, I started setting an alarm every morning at 2. I'd take her out for a pee and we'd come back in. And it's not really her fault because it is medical. Now that we're here, what we've been doing is keeping her in a kennel at night, which I hate to do. But it's really the only option because we can't have dog doors in the house we're at. But she's happy and content in the kennel. And then we have to get up in the morning to get her medicine, so she's not in there all night. But again, you have to put a dog into an environment where they're not going to be susceptible to bad behavior.
No. Yeah, and that's the thing is I've been a proponent of crate training, proper crate training, for issues like that. I mean, hell, I actually have an oversized crate for the 2 labs that both of them can lay down and fit in. They use it as their bedroom. And the only time I close them in is when there is a reason to keep them from being underfoot for a short bit. Other than that, it's just it's no different than a kid having their bedroom in their space with the door open. That's how it ends up being. But we always started our dogs very young at being used to going into a crate, because there are times when, like, say there's a lot of people in the coming in and out, door open, and with sociable dogs, they're going to want to be in the middle of what's going on, and sometimes that's not a safe environment for you or the dog. So sorry, you might not like it that you're not going to be able to play with all the people, but here, go in your room. I'm closing the door. Let us get done with what we need to. Then you can meet and play with everyone.
Yeah, we had a little incident the other night with the diabetic blind husky. It was a bad dog dad. And our backyard is very steep, and it's a walk out onto the back deck, and it's a deck and then steep stairs into the backyard. So she can go out there on her own fine. She does okay with the stairs. I mean, there's no big issue. But it's easier for her to walk out the front door because it just goes straight out into a small yard. We're in a cul-de-sac. And we've gotten into the habit of every couple days we'll let her out the front when it's just more convenient.
Mm-hmm.
And the other night she looked like she was limping a little bit. She was tired, didn't want to make her go up the stairs. Like, okay. So we put her out the front door. And she's not gonna go far. She's blind.
Yeah.
And then we forgot about her for 10 minutes. And my wife's like, hey, is Chinook outside? It's like, oh, shit. And normally she's just like in the neighbor's yard. Spent 10 minutes wandering down the block. She was a block and a half away around a corner.
Wow.
Just having a little adventure. Just wandering around. So, not doing that anymore. She's going out front, but from now on, if she goes out front, someone's standing there watching her.
Yeah.
She's getting bold. She knows the front yard, so she's getting bold and she's getting adventurous.
She's getting curious too. Yeah.
And when she's on a leash, she wants to run. If she knows you have control of her, she will try and run because she knows that we're not going to let her smash into something.
No.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart.
There we go.
Hey.
Damn microphone.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and hang up. I'm having really bad connection problem because I'm out here on a back road trying to do some astrophotography tonight. So I'm getting some really bad roboting.
Okay. Good talking to you
All right.
guys.
Nice.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
going.
Hey, guys.
We'll be in touch later. But yeah, so for those who don't know, with the interviewing that I've been doing, one of the common threads that has come up is really the way that I treat customers is the same way I treat a dog or an animal that I'm training, because a little bit of training, a little bit of prevention goes a long frickin' way. Finding out one of those things where, oh, it's operator error. You expected the machine to do something that it's not supposed to. Okay, little one, come on over here. Let's sit down. Let me show you where you went wrong.
Oh, hello.
Good.
There we go.
What? It's backwards though.
Oh, it's backwards for you?
Yeah.
How about now?
Yay.
Yay.
So which game is this?
Minecraft.
Where are you at?
Frickin' Minecraft.
Dude. So, my kids have played Minecraft for a little while. While I was in Korea, I got started on it. Kind of got addicted a little bit. Not too bad. And about a week ago, introduced my wife to it. And since then, we have started our own house. We're adventuring together. My kids are coming in. It has become a family affair, and all four of us are obsessed with Minecraft. My daughter is upstairs in bed right now, finishing building a wall.
Is it a wall of the house that she tore down?
She's building, and our family house, they're not authorized to go in unless we're there with her. And my son. She'll be fine. She will be absolutely fine, but I can't tell you how often I hear from my son, oops, I'm sorry, it was an accident.
Not as bad as that one video where the guy tried to start a fireplace in his house and he burnt the whole house down. He couldn't stop it either. It spread that fast.
Wow. So, for those who might be interested, a different type of game that actually I've been gifted that I'm going to test on. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna test by streaming into Discord off air. So if anyone is interested in seeing the gameplay itself and wanting to be a part of the conversation as I have fun playing Warhammer 40K for the first time in ages.
Nice.
So that computer I was just showing there, Jared,
Yep.
just under a meter tall.
Jeez.
Damn.
I'm afraid to look up what the price is going to be on it.
I still say another splurge of a windfall, if I can wing it, is going to be a better computer, more properly adapted for the video editing and streaming and gameplay stuff.
Well, what's funny is talking about that is CES was going on all this week.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Epos Fox showed a case that literally allows you to build 2 full-size computers in it, basically one on each side panel, with all the wiring and stuff coming through the middle.
I still have my MacBook.
Like I said, we're not talking about garbage here. We're talking about actual.
It's funny you say that. The wife, she has a MacBook, but she also has a full-on iMac that she had gotten a little while ago. And, when it comes to video editing, Macs are okay for that. But at the same time, she wants to tweak her streaming. And so tomorrow is going to be a real in-depth course on how to use OBS on her machine. This will be fascinating.
I can give you some tips and pointers, since I've been using OBS for the past year on my MacBook, and I don't know if she's going to run into the same pitfalls. But if you go back and watch my Cavendish Teardown stream, you'll see a consistent and continuous interruption of the stream, because anytime you add or disconnect a source to the computer, OBS crashed.
Oh, well,
unhook a camera you're not using, crash. Plug in a camera you're not using yet, crash.
Well,
and Sean gave me so much shit for it.
Well, yeah, PC Master Race, that's why. But in addition, other than that, she won't have to worry about that, because she doesn't add or remove things in that way from her system often, if at all.
Bluetooth headset, crash.
Yeah, wired is the way to go.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling a wired... Well, actually, no, because in that case, you'd be going through the Yeti, and the Yeti wouldn't be registering a change, so... Yeah, she enjoyed my microphone so much, she wanted to get her own. Same model, same color. It can get rather fucking confusing at times. Oh, B-Ball for Life, you want to stream retro games? I
can do that.
I have a few retro games on my system, and those are the ones that are actually happiest right now streaming to YouTube. So I'm trying to test some of the other games to see which ones do and don't work from a end user enjoyment perspective, because I have Tomb Raider. I've actually enjoyed that version of Tomb Raider when I've played it offline, but it gets frustrating that my GPU cannot handle the gameplay and streaming through OBS for it at the same time. I need to get that set up if I'm going to be doing games of that graphics caliber.
What does your wife plan on trying to do with streaming with the Mac?
Oh, just stuff like what we're doing here. Nothing multimedia, nothing major, nothing big. It's just a way to... Because what she ends up doing is she does a couple weekly shows for what she's doing, and then from those, it gets broken up into the actual videos that become the later
curated
content
product.
through a curated product through the week after.
Okay.
So it's making the visual of the original stream look similar enough and as good as the produced one. And so she's really just going to be using OBS to get the pretty overlay and border and set up that way. So I'm going to have her set up to where using OBS and actually starting streaming is going to be as minimalistic and as easy as possible.
Okay. Not to get techie or anything in the middle of this, but if you have any questions, let me know, because like, is she going to be recording it through OBS and broadcasting, or is she just going to be broadcasting and then downloading from YouTube the original video to edit it? Because depending on what you're doing, you can. Is it a MacBook or is it a desktop?
It's a full desktop.
Okay, that shouldn't be as big of an issue, because I tried both of those and I could pull it off and have nothing else open, because it would just max out the power of the laptop.
Yeah, and that's the way I run. I have two Windows browsers open, one for the meets, one for the YouTube live control room. I have Discord open, a pop-out window for the chat, and OBS. That's it. When I'm streaming, that's all I have open. The only time I add something else in is if I'm giving a presentation, then I'll have voice meter, VLC, and or like when we play Quiplash. I'll have the stuff for that open and available.
Speaking of which, I have Quiplash now too.
I had to unplug my external monitors, because just having an external monitor hooked up to the laptop on top of everything OBS was doing was too much for the computer.
Oh, jeez.
Because it doesn't have a graphics card.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not a dedicated graphics card. It's slaved as part of the core processor.
Yeah, so while I'm editing and while I'm doing normal stuff and stuff like that, I had two external monitors plus the laptop, and that was fine. But if I was going to be Skype call, record through Skype, record through OBS, and a couple other things, I couldn't have. Sometimes I could have one monitor hooked up. Sometimes I couldn't have just my laptop. And then if I was editing a intensive video that had a lot of processing power, I had to unplug both of my monitors just so that the processor could just do the video editing, the output, and that would still take. I had one of them that took like 24 hours.
Ouch.
Right.
Yeah, that's
PC
kind of
Master
ridiculous.
That sounds about like what I try to, the reason why I don't post more YouTube videos is because it takes for freaking ever for them to upload to YouTube.
You have this kind of problem when you make a phone call to order a pizza.
Oh, no, because there's no calling anywhere to order a pizza to have it delivered. I live when I say I live in bumfuck Egypt. Yeah, it's sad out here.
Bumfuck Egypt is closer to civilization than where you live in Missouri.
No, I'm only. I'm in.
When he goes to bumfuck, he's going to the big city.
Yeah, true.
Just admit it. When ordering a pizza for an address, you give them a grid reference.
No, I have to give them GPS coordinates.
That's too precise.
No, it's not, because I only give them to the driveway. I don't let them come up the drive.
Do you tell them which meth shack to turn left and right at?
Yeah, well, see, it depends upon if they're coming from the north. I have to tell them they have to turn left past the two white meth shacks right across the street from each other. If they're coming up from the south, I have to tell them to turn right before they get to the two white meth shacks right across the street from each other.
and that they have to reach the different checkpoints within a couple of seconds. If they don't, they'll get shot down by automatic weapons.
Yeah.
No, we're fortunate. These two meth shacks don't own any firearms. They just burglarize each other.
Yeah, meth heads aren't there enough to be violent. They just stand out on their lawn, scratching their chest, not knowing what to do.
Oh no,
Yeah, but then again, if they do get violent, they just pick up, and it'll work every time. Pick up a needle.
well,
And yeah,
the meth heads that live on the opposite side of the road from my driveway, they're just they
Mellow.
very rarely come outside. They painted their roof white yesterday.
Ooh.
Oh well, no. See, it's a metal. They have that metal roofing, like you would see on a barn.
That's great type of roofing to have in a hailstorm.
Yes, it is. Well, either they've just replaced it, or they went up there and just painted it because it's white now. And it used to be green, and it used to match the house on my side, where my driveway is. And now it doesn't.
I would say they're driving your property values down, but you're in Missouri. They're already at the bottom.
Well, yeah, considering that, I've still got to dig another hole in the ground to try to put water in to actually increase my property value. Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say you had to dig a hole in the ground to poop.
No,
yeah,
no. We've already got the lagoon dug.
There must be a reason why that place is called Missouri. I mean, Missouri.
Oh yeah,
Missouri.
Missouri.
Miserable. Yeah, why not?
Missouri. Yeah.
Don't use fancy words like that.
I can. I was educated in Texas. Thank you very much.
Hey,
ironically, I've actually seen Les Miserables in Missouri. But it was also in St. Louis.
Yeah, and you're willingly bragging about it?
It was a different day and age.
I don't know you want it.
He was still enlisted.
I was.
I
was a buck back then.
Yeah. But it's Army, so it means more. Or something.
No, I was a buck sergeant. I wasn't a privet.
Oh.
I think the really creepy part of that is that I went to Les Miserables with another guy that was in my class with me to go to CID school, and he later got found to be in possession of a shit ton of child porn, and he's now in federal prison.
Oh.
Yeah, you can probably. I'll send you guys a link to the news article later on. When he was interviewed by the FBI, his excuse was, well, some people like chicken, some people like steak.
Okay.
Not kidding. I am not kidding.
Holy shit.
Wow.
He would probably be one of those assholes that wanted to, what do you call it, downplay that kind of crap and try to have it enrolled in the LGBT acronyms.
Wasn't likely.
That one doesn't have the quote. Here's the arrest thing. Let me see.
He'll pull Clinton. I did not inhale.
What?
That one's dead.
Crap! What are you doing, cat?
Meow.
No, it's a kitten. She's all over the place.
Meow.
He wants to play the game
who is
with you.
eating cat?
He wants to play the game with you.
Yeah, no, she's playing with the boxes on the floor.
Well, just be happy it doesn't want to play with wire that you're currently using.
Oh yeah, she was trying to do that earlier. Earlier today, she decided to sleep on top of my router.
Well, of course, it's warm.
Oh yeah, it definitely warm. And she tries to choose the antennas too.
That
This
was
one's mine.
the one
Yeah,
advantage of big old-fashioned monitors. The cat could at least sleep on top of it without killing it,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were built
causing too much damage.
to handle hot climates.
Oh, there's your kitty cat.
Yeah, this is my youngest pussy here.
Oh.
I guess
Oh.
that was bad choice of words. But yeah, this is, if y'all remember the pussy on pussy video that we had roll back last year, This is actually one of the litters from the female of that Pussy on Pussy video. This is her first litter. So she dropped 4 of them on us. And hey, we can get more pussy on pussy action. Good, Jared.
Sounds like my parents. They take in the strays that are out there. They've got, I think, 8 indoors and almost another 8 or 9 outdoor cats.
We've got. Well, see, here's the thing. This is the reason why I'm not rednecking up. I don't have any porch dogs.
Too late,
I have
Furball.
porch cats.
Oh, you dick.
Just kidding.
I was say, was that Furbo we put? No.
No, I just saw this on Twitter. This guy beat a woman nearly to death and is being charged with hate crimes. But this is his mugshot from New Year's Eve.
He looks happy.
The owner of the hotel he was staying at is an Indian woman and her husband. Yeah.
Oh, what was it? I saw. I have to find the article, but I heard it was dealing with a. What was it? Woman hit a girl because she was Mexican with her car.
Oh, yeah, I know about that one because actually she was found out earlier in the day she hit a black girl too.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, she's being charged with hate crimes. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, you're
kind
playing
of
space
person
game.
that they should be forced to attempt to negotiate a very high and long set of stairs with their hands and feet tied together, and of course in a downward motion.
Oh.
In a storm.
Or it's like the the one guy, he tried to break the record for the most stairs going down with his hands only. So he was handstand walking.
Yeah.
It was the Empire State Building.
I'm all for the Guinness World Records thing for the normal kind of stuff, but that kind of stuff that's just weird. It sounds like somebody deliberately invented that just to get in the book. I mean, pole sitting, that is a very old tradition. I can understand that kind of thing.
Yeah, I
although I do find it kind
of
weird. Yeah, but walking down steps
with hands
on
only.
your hands.
Yeah, handstand.
Why? If the guy who started or the woman who started it, where it was a paraplegic or something. Okay, fair enough. I could see that, but
have you ever seen the Olympic event? Not Olympic events, like the Japanese weird sporting events of walking on your hands.
Oh yeah, TV game shows.
Yeah, well, there's some of them that it's like an obstacle course, up and down stairs and across poles, and it's just insane. I can barely walk.
Ooh, it's Whack-A-Troll time.
Uh
oh. Who's our troll?
Not multi-tom-tom, is it?
Dum-dum. Yeah. The dumbass who thinks that trying to get me excited or make me mad by insinuating that I'm gay. Yeah. Good luck.
Oh, you missed last week, Bo. We're all his servants.
We're all his servants now.
Did you? Well, has passed out? I mean, has he face keyed? Because we haven't heard him in a while.
Yeah, kind of busy.
Multi-dum-dum, this person who I've been
trying to get rid of the flags.
I wonder if
Jared, did you say you're getting busy?
Christian or a Muslim this week.
I think that's the best roll of tape I ever bought. Especially for sticking it.
Multi-tom-tom, the dumbass that I've been trying to get to talk to about radar and radio navigation for over a year, and every time he finds some excuse not to.
My internet.
Jared, we should
after agreeing to do it.
Corner right there.
We should send him an invite.
And then
This is a.
We really should.
Hey,
We
hey
should
Jared,
send that-
I'm
we
okay
should
with it.
send
This is a
that
prime
story and-
opportunity for it.
Yeah.
Where's Jared?
He's getting busy.
Yeah.
Or busy.
He is typing. He is typing multi Jim Jim.
He's what?
Yeah.
Yeah. The question is, for how long will the I wouldn't say intolerable, just hilariously obnoxious British voice will last?
I only promise to be
Alright, so let's
civil
see if that
as long
kills
as he is
it,
civil.
and
Or
begin
until
Oh, yeah.
his
Hey, I'm on that too.
First I thought it might have been there.
yeah.
But and then when I was tracking one
No
with the
salvation.
light, I got a good light in there. I'm
Hey, you
like,
wish you're roboting again.
Well, hey,
Lots of them in there.
but hey, you wish that's exactly how I treated him last time. I debated.
Now we'll
well,
be able
not
to
debated him,
see-
but talked to him.
if
Hey,
we're still
Terry.
getting them in the house at this point, it'll be somewhere up there.
Right. Well, I put my screen back in my window, so
Yeah.
they're not coming in there.
He doesn't know he's still hot.
Yeah, I know.
Damn it.
Oh,
You're that.
hey, don't do that. That's contagious.
Don't, bugger. I probably didn't want to do that either.
What are you doing, kitten? Now
Alright,
she's getting in for a fire.
there we go. And so, Dum Dum decided to show up.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
he's
You know-
in the chat.
You know, if he wasn't so afraid of platforms that he can't defend himself on, he'd be more than welcome to come in.
That's what I said. I mean, Alan said he's been wanting to talk to him about radar for over a year, but he keeps pussing out and having a reason. He's in the chat. He has an open forum. I think every other one of us will vow that we will shut up and just let Alan have a polite conversation.
Yeah, I could do that. I can mute myself sometimes.
Yeah, I can mute you too.
Tom Tom?
We know he won't show up,
I
so
my fun with him.
Even though we have his doubts on whether or not he actually has the testicular fortitude to show up, we can still make the offer.
It is.
Hey,
It is
well,
a
Dum
starting
Dum,
offer.
I'll even promise, Dum Dum, to not mention anything about Viking helmets from now on. You know,
Or
a simple,
anything else
very,
that he has
very
historically
simple-
got wrong.
Yeah, you know, the very simple question that I gave you and you failed miserably in, you know.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tom Tom, if you want to ask me that question, come on here and ask it. You have an
I'm gonna
invite.
say, Bo will remember that live stream on GeoStreamer's channel where we was Tom and myself were supposed to have a conversation.
Yeah.
That was
Tom Tom?
well over a year ago, wasn't it?
Tom Tom?
Yeah.
I think you're about to get the Vicky treatment.
Kinda. A modified version of it.
And unfortunately, I mean, if only he had the ability to use the words, you know, I don't know. It would be so great if he just learned how to use those words in that sequence. But
So by modified version of it, what I mean is
No
Tom,
timeout.
and no timeout, but Tom, if you have a question to the panel or have commentary to anyone specifically on the panel, you need to come on the panel to voice it directly.
And we all promise to behave and not gang up on you.
Well, and here's the thing. If anyone steps out of line, I have this wonderful ability. Let me go here and show
What?
it on screen where, see, I have this wonderful thing that says remove. If someone steps out of line, I can remove them from the meet so you don't have to worry about it.
And Jared is the man who would do that.
I've done it before for that reason.
Come on, Tom Tom. You can do it. Come on, Tom Tom.
You're not timed out.
Here, kitty.
No, I think it's more like that giant from the Looney Tunes commercials.
Oh, you got better things to do? Okay, here, let me help you then.
He's got better things to do, yet he's still here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that he's here, but he doesn't want to be here. I don't get that.
That's why I just gave him a hand.
I'm sorry. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Throw him out of the stream.
That translates to "I'm afraid."
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a
Prove me wrong.
That is a tacit admission of defeat. Tell you what, in 4 minutes, Tom, in 4 minutes, you can tell us that we're wrong, that you actually do have the fortitude, and we will pass along the link. And hell, I will make the join link public for you. Because on this platform, I can actually control who does and doesn't come in.
What?
Yeah, it's almost like the paid platform version actually has its benefits. Although, from what I hear, they're going to be making it the public version soon. It's like, you motherfuckers. At that point...
So I'm good.
Well, at that point... Go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to ask you a quick question about mates. Does it offer a facility where you can hand control over to somebody else?
Unfortunately, no. The only way to hand control over to someone else is to have them as their own login on the corporate account.
Okay.
Or
So
change
that is
your personal password, hand it over, and change it afterwards?
No.
Too much.
So that's one place where Zoom does have an advantage then.
Yes.
So that you can control around if you have to be AFK or something.
Well, you got to think about it more of like how Jared had it with Pig when Pig had an account under the corporate account. Pig could, Pig could start and launch meets and everything like that.
Yeah, there were times that it was advantageous, but then there were reasons why it had to be removed from them.
Well, almost to 30 hours of watch time for my video.
Nice.
I'm really liking this graph.
Hey, Jared, not to go down the troll route of that, but just an update, if you can speak publicly on it. What is the status of Pig? Because I know a couple days ago, Uni made a comment that Pig randomly showed up in, I think it was one of Steve's side chats, and was trolling there. And he's bringing Pig back into the conversation, and I don't know if anybody's had conversations with him in months.
I know one person who has had a couple direct and lengthy enough conversations with Pig. Now, here's the thing. From what I've heard, Pig has been watching, but he has been interacting zero. He is aware of what's going on, but he is not doing or saying anything anywhere. Pig is actually doing the right thing and focusing on himself and his health and his mental health.
Yeah, considering how easy it is to make a stock account, and he isn't actually doing that, I see that as a positive thing at the moment.
Yeah, and he's the kind of person that if he was making stock accounts to fuck with someone,
it would be obvious.
It would be obvious. People would know because he would want people to know.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Uni idiot decides to bring him back into the conversation.
Uni's only doing it because Uni needs the drama.
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing. I don't mind poking him in that aspect because Uni has made quite a number of direct and indirect threats about me that I'm just... do it. Show what you got. I've seen... hang on. I've seen the comments where you have asked your crowd to find whatever they can on me, and they've come back with nothing.
He's said multiple times that he has evidence because people come forward to him with who you are and who Pig is and the collaborations you've had with other people, and people are bringing him this information. Literally none of that evidence forward.
Yeah, but it's so easy to say I have evidence, just like someone else we know of that we don't converse with anymore.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing.
A certain Dutch person.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and here's the thing. If I say something and I say that, no, this is what happened, I can show this being the case, I am willing to show people just that. If I take something as, if I say, I'm not sure, but this is what I think it is, I say it just like that. I don't speak of it as if it's fact when I don't know for sure. I talk about, well, it could be. It looks to
Uni
be.
doesn't have that delineation.
No.
It's my opinion.
No. So if you watch him, for the majority of his stuff, Uni will talk as if he knows and everything, and then once he starts getting called out and corrected, oh, it's just my opinion.
All of a sudden.
That's not how it works, dude.
Boom! I sank a ship.
Nice.
You sank my battleship.
You shot my... Oh, damn it.
Yes, it is, Alan.
I wasn't a battleship.
I have battle shots here.
It was probably a cruiser, the looks of it.
Oh, that's a World War II, World War I era cruiser. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and pin that one, because this gameplay is much more appropriate for this channel, for this stream.
Yeah.
World of Warships.
Yeah.
Right now I'm playing, I don't know what, I can't remember what country I'm playing right now.
You are
Italy.
Yeah, it's the Italian flag that you got there.
Yeah, they've got the Italian faction. Oh, game over. I think we won. Did we win? Victory!
Woo!
Victory!
Okay, well here, maybe you guys can help me pick what ship to pick. I got quite a few to play with.
All right. So Lessa, yep, that was an Italian.
Yeah, that was Italian. Let me bring up the tech trade. There we go. How's this sound? Easier to see. Yeah, that was Italy. So, we got the Japanese fleet.
All right, question real quick. Do you have the Texas?
That's the U.S., right?
U.S. battleship.
I do have the Texas.
Yep.
Play the Texas. I want to see the Texas get played.
Okay.
There are better battleships, but you know what? Let's see how well you can handle it.
Yeah, it's a premium ship I got for free.
Well, understand something about this in the game is that they modeled it exactly after the Texas with all of the anti-aircraft placements.
That's thing. World of Warships has actually put a lot of effort into the visual and operational detail of the ships. They have put a lot of effort into being as accurate as they can on that aspect, which is one of the reasons why I actually enjoy watching gameplay of it.
Yeah. Do you know how accurate it is? They put in the anti-aircraft placements based upon pictures from the Battleship Texas Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that beauty.
And yeah, that thing, the Texas for 1912, 1914 was a beast.
We'll find out here. I'm playing in co-op mode, so I get to fight a mirror fleet of our same makeup.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
So I get to fight a version of Texas as well.
Oh.
Actually, there's 2 Texas, 2 New Yorks, and a couple other from other.
Königsberg. And a couple Japanese ships and
a T-22. I think it's Russian.
Yeah.
It's a Russian destroyer.
Yeah. So there's two Texas we have to fight against and 2 New York class ships.
Oh, this should be interesting.
The Texas was New York. New York was the first of the line, and the Texas was second.
Gotcha.
Yeah, same class, slight different armament in this game at least.
Well, no, in real life too.
Let's see what's in my.
Keep in mind, The Texas got more updates after, yes, but the initial as built, they were the same loadout.
Yeah.
I even have an aircraft launcher on here for scoutcraft.
That it had to.
Yeah, but you can see it. If you look right down the middle here, right down the middle, and then between the two superstructures, you can see the launcher.
The catapult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
there it
the
is.
scout.
It moves. It moves with my cursor, so that depends on which direction I shoot my plane off at. Okay, how fast are we looking here? About 19 point, almost at 20 knots. 21. She's just slow. Oh, there you go.
Hey,
There's an
she's doing faster than her hull number. That's impressive.
Or faster than our kill count, probably.
Yeah. Well, have you gotten high enough in the tech tree to actually get the Essex class yet?
No, I'm not that high up. I'm probably at the most tier 5.
Yeah, I've seen a few gameplays where the person actually does have access to the Essex class aircraft carrier, and I forget whose channel it was, but they actually played it quite well, and they actually used proper tactics for the squadron layout that they had. They would actually do the scouting appropriately. They would area locate the ship in a way, and yeah, Guy actually played it very well, and it actually ends up being very effective even in the game, which oftentimes, like, you'll see, like, Cold Waters, the submarine warfare one.
Yeah.
Like Jive Turkey early on in his streams, he would try the actual submarine tactics, and they weren't as effective because just the way the game engine was set up.
Oh, they're just out of range of my guns. But there's the Texas and the New York right there.
Yeah.
Oh, someone got in their range.
Yeah. And there's the other New York.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're getting hit from somebody.
Oh yeah, main gun 20 knots is still faster than the LST. But imagine going that fast in the LST. Oh, that would have been a hell of a ride. I think main gun was in here.
Where is he? Okay.
My boat could go in excess of 20 knots.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
Oh, crap,
main gun is in the meet. It's just he hasn't spoken up. So.
Okay, he's within range. What do we got here?
Kill. Don't talk, just shoot.
Yeah, but
Okay,
you want a proper lead. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just over here punking board.
Did I get a lead? Nope.
Nope, not
Maybe a
enough.
little more. Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, I did get him.
Got
I got
his
him in the back
aft.
end.
Got his aft.
A little bit.
Oh.
Overshot.
I overshot him that time.
And that is another thing too, is I like how.
Oh, here comes the torpedoes.
Nope.
Oh,
One got
there,
him.
got him.
Right in the front. He's shooting at somebody. He's going to be out of my range here in a moment.
Well, you're going to be obstructed.
Now.
Got it.
Never mind. Nope.
Well, no, he did. Keep in mind, with his view, there is a bit of a delay.
Got him. I did hit him.
Yeah.
Okay, he's behind the mountain. He's behind the island. I can't get him. Actually, there you go. I'll launch my little plane. There he goes. Spotter airborne. Oh, it's interesting. The catapult is mounted on the center gun. I didn't notice that at first.
Yeah.
Hey, Bull, how you doing?
Now, in later iterations of the Texas, and later updates on the Texas, that center gun is actually moved forward to where it sits today, and the con tower is actually back almost where the smokestack is there.
Got it. Looks like these guys got him. What do we got over here? We got the T-22 over here taking them on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna swing swing over here and go for these guys. Go for the two New Yorks that are over here.
Now, I will say this. We're seeing it right here. The actual in-game physics of the turn of a ship that size. Well,
I love the lean.
Yeah.
That lean, yeah. Because I'm at full speed, too, doing that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better since the game first came out. I mean, the graphics have definitely improved.
Yeah, and of course we're seeing a reduced version because of the frickin' Hangout/Meet interface.
Oh yeah, and I'm actually broadcasting it from OBS. Using a OBS virtual camera. I could probably check to see what the resolution was set for.
Well, either
it's
way,
probably 1080.
Yeah, I can take a look at that once.
I just got done watching Thoughts by Jay Brown's video on Dead Kennedy, so that was good.
Thank you.
Furball.
What?
Bo, that side chat is appropriate.
Bo, phrasing.
Hey, it's all true, damn it.
Yeah,
Although
so is everyone else in the world. What the hell? Who just rammed you?
The other player, he scraped my boat.
Well,
teammate,
teammate or enemy?
Teammate got me.
Okay.
So he got a warning. He got dinged for that. So when the victory comes around, he'll lose points for that.
Oh, so
that's it. I want his insurance card.
hey, hit and run, get the plate number.
Jay Brown, you get to pull him over. You got a spaceship. You can do it.
I don't got no spaceship.
Oh, no, sorry,
that was
Eric.
that was Techatron.
Yeah, Eric can get him from space.
Hey, what's that?
In my Jim'Hadar Vanguard carrier, yeah.
Well, what is that they say? Rubbin's racing?
Yep.
Melting a Borg tactical cube right now.
Nice.
Oh, well, the audience can't see it. All they can see is World of Warships. But so you guys already have them. You guys already have them down to just 3 ships left. Nice.
Yes, and it's the one Texas and 2 New Yorks, and they're geez, that New York's getting pounded. Where is he? There he is. Oh wow.
That's what she said.
What? She's big enough to be called a ship, and yeah, okay.
See if I can hit.
Right.
Can I hit? Will I hit? Yes, I got a hit on there. I got at least 1 hit. I got penetration.
Giggity.
Well, I am using AP rounds instead of the HE rounds.
But come on,
counting penetration. Jesus Christ, battle's kind of erotic.
kind of anal. Yeah. No,
kind of.
Try to make it a challenge.
It's very stimulating.
When did battle need prophylactic to be safe?
Oh, game over.
When did artillery
that
start?
was surely.
You're not supposed to run into the Borg cube. That's the whole point, is to get away from it.
Run into it. I blew it up.
You got you gotta go.
I didn't run into it.
Those were meant for the muscle.
You gotta go.
Right.
Hang on. When it comes to fighting the Borg, you gotta go with the asymmetrical tactics. You cannot be predictable.
That's true.
No, you can't. You definitely can't. And collision ramming speed is always, useful in some sense.
Oh, you got the Ranger.
And for some reason, even though they figure it out every single time, you can always keep rotating your frequency on your weapons. But
actually, go with the Massachusetts.
This is a weird thing.
Massachusetts, where is the
lower right?
Lower right. Oh, I don't have access. I don't have that unlocked yet.
Oh.
That's a premium ship you got to pay for.
It looks like you did, but
yeah, no, it's got the coinage, and I don't have the coin. I don't have that kind of coinage. Let's see what the USSR's got. And the way they break it down, it looks like they've got the cruisers in the middle, destroyers on the right, and then the battleships are on the left. I don't have that battleship unlocked yet. I have to research it. I haven't been playing them as much. And then Germany.
Got the NASA.
Wait a minute. But that what is it called? It wasn't the swastika. Maltese cross instead.
So
it's
the
not
Iron
Nazi?
Cross.
Yeah, the Iron Cross. Yeah.
But it's a Maltese cross, though.
And then we have the United Kingdom.
Oh, the Bellerophon.
Yes, I haven't unlocked it yet. I have to grind for that.
I'm still pretty sure that's also a musical instrument. Not trying to make fun, but I actually do think it is a musical instrument.
And then we have the French.
I see multi-tom grace your chat there for a minute or two.
He wanted to spout off. We offered him an invite. He said he didn't want to. He said he didn't have the time, so I gave him a easier bit to finish up what he was doing.
Yeah.
So you gave him 5 extra minutes, huh?
Yeah, I gave him 5 minutes to really think about it and clear his schedule and actually come on and talk shit face to face.
I don't know what he could possibly have to do that's in his fucking stupid little mind. It would.
There we go.
Well, that's the answer. In his mind,
it must be really, really sad, just lonely place in that mind.
Yeah, I've got a spaceship now. See, it's my ship in space. There you go.
I'm still 100% convinced that he suffers from.
We're not trying to recreate the manga Battleship Yamato.
They actually had a for a limited time. They had not Yamato, but it was another anime where you can get their ships. It was I can't remember what they were called though. Let's see here. Oh, this is a new one.
Oh yeah, is it true that no actual photos exist of that battleship?
Of what?
The Japanese Yamamoto?
No, there are.
The big ass thing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, cat? Come here.
There are some photos of it. That's why we know the layouts as well as a number of the tech drawings.
And by the way, there's on YouTube the World of Warcraft, or the company behind World of Warcraft, World of Tanks, etc. They have these videos that they produce for YouTube. Some of them are just small intros, and some of them are
in-depth analysis of the ships. Yeah,
and of the different ships. It's actually quite fascinating. I binge watched those quite a while ago, but I think that that the one they did on the Yamamoto is that they talked about it was really hard to get real photos, etc. But maybe that was due to revisions of it. Of Yamamoto, maybe
it was hard to get it. It was hard to get photos because a good number of the photos that are available are actually from the U.S. forces that were taken as they were beating the crap out of the Yamato and the Musashi, its sister ship.
Yeah. But by the way, were they the same size?
Yes.
They're the same class.
It's raining. Can we call off the battle?
Oh, yeah. Bad memories there.
I don't think it works that way.
No, if you had a Stinger training simulator, you would have to pack it in because they, the Danish version of it anyway, it couldn't handle rain.
If it ain't raining, it ain't training.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hey, it's great. It's the best possible weather to do a foot patrol in. You know, your rain gear doesn't make any noise when you walk through the bushes. If it's raining, you can't really distinguish the noises.
No. You gotta do training and while training in your full mop gear.
Oh God.
What gear?
Chem warfare gear.
Yeah, the CBR gear.
CBR gear. Yeah.
Well, yeah. For me, it was known as mop gear.
Yeah.
What would that stand for?
I'm not sure.
What's that?
Yeah.
Mission orientated protective posture. MOPP.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Oh.
totally not really okay. Weird.
And there are different levels of mop. Mop
Yes.
1 to
okay,
4.
mop.
Mm.
Trying to remember. I'll
Yeah,
go backwards. So mop 4 is everything on top, bottoms, boots, gloves, mask.
Yeah,
3
I only know of one.
is everything but mask.
Yeah, mask
2
and
is
hood.
everything but gloves and boots. So tops, bottoms. 1 is mask on your hip.
Yep.
And
ready to go.
your suit suit available. 0 is nothing.
Oh, that's just readiness levels. And
Yeah.
there are different types of protection.
No,
Or
no,
layers
no.
of. It's just a measure of.
Yeah. We're going
Yeah.
to mop 1 means put your mask on
Yeah.
your hip. We're going to mop 2 means put your shit on.
Yeah,
For us,
technically there is a mop 0, which is just your regular uniform for day-to-day operations. You go from mop 0 to 1, which means you start carrying your mask and have ready access to the suit. 2, you don the top and bottom of the suit. 3, boots and gloves. 4, put on the hood and mask. So it's that build up.
2-part suit. Weird.
Yeah, and those boots were fun. They were either you had a 4-toe or a 5-toe boot, depending on the model. Oh, they were horrible to put on.
Oh,
Wait,
those
you had
boots.
you had actual standalone boots that you would where you would take off the ones you had on.
No, they were over boots.
They were like slip-ons.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You said you mentioned toes.
Oh no, it's what it is they were rubber flaps, and we called it. There was either a 4-toed or a 5 flap, and you laced them up over your boot pretty much once you got your boot in.
Okay.
Which in and of itself, putting your boot in that fucking thing was a pain in the ass.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Well, we only had 2 levels, the mask and all skin covered, and then the full-on suit, which was a jumpsuit. It wasn't a 2-part; it was a full-on suit, and of course the rubber. Rubber gloves for your boots.
Oh, he beached himself.
But they weren't all that hard to put on, though.
Yeah, the newer Camp Warfare suits got better.
Yeah, the proper term is galoshes, but
that's it. Yeah, the galoshes.
No, they're rubbers.
Well,
rubbers. Yeah.
I mean, galoshes are
they're prophylactic.
I'm gonna drift this bitch. Look at that.
Yeah, prophylactic for my feet.
Yeah, but I do remember playing floor hockey in a small room in a small gas chamber, in that full suit. Oh, that was a nightmare.
So
we were I was in San Antonio for training for it's where medics go to train, and it was
it's gonna miss.
So fucking hot outside. We couldn't do NBC training for medics because we were at heat category 5, which is basically you go around without your blouse and just a t-shirt. So
were you down in Lackland?
Yeah, Lackland.
Yeah, that's where I trained.
Nope, San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston.
Oh, Come on, baby.
I could imagine it would be the same problem as with fire departments.
Did you ground?
Yeah, he ran aground and now he's getting screwed. So there is a question from the chat. There is a question from the chat. If people would listen, Anamorphic Mind asked if any of us are going to go see the movie 1917 this upcoming weekend.
Not this weekend, but I'm going to see it.
Technically, it's already weekend. No, sorry. I might just do it. I've heard that it is the second most realistic, film reflecting wartime.
Have you heard how it was filmed?
What was it?
Like the flow of it?
It was one shot or something like that.
It's appeared to be as one shot, so I'm not positive on this, but so like if the movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes, that means that you are experiencing 2 hours and 10 minutes of this kid's life.
What?
Wow.
No time cuts or
no, it's one shot beginning to end.
Flashbacks, I would imagine, but wow.
No.
One of them bought it though.
No, you from what I understand of it, you get a little bit of a precursor, and then you are literally following this guy through the operation and through the battle.
Hey, Bull, if you thought San Antonio was hot, Have you ever went to NTC and put on your mop 4 at 3 o'clock in the morning and it was already 90 degrees out?
Nope, because I was actually stationed in Germany, where that is not an issue. It's usually the opposite problem. You want to put all that shit on because it's fucking cold in Grafenwehr. It's fucking cold in Grafenweer.
Usually a couple of degrees
We
hotter
did that
than
in
here.
August.
Yeah,
we did that in
NTC
August.
was a nightmare.
We did that in August at Okinawa.
Oh,
So you're looking at over 100 degrees, close to
90.
better than 95% humidity.
Yep.
I was gonna say probably sticky as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we were getting ready. We were getting ready to go to the Gulf, and we knew that Saddam had chemical weapons. So some officer somewhere decided it would be good training to have the whole fucking battalion in mop gear all goddamn day.
Oh.
That sounds like
after
an
the
officer
day's
with
end-
too much time on their hand.
Yeah. So after the day's end, you would go to the shower to dry off. Then.
Yeah, I remember being at NTC halfway through the cycle and taking a shower from my Camelback. I like hung my Camelback from the end of the gun tube and took a shower from the Camelback onto my head, and the water felt hot just from being in the Camelback.
Yes.
Now, I've also done a rotation through this a long time ago, different lifetime away. Rotation through JRTC and Fort Polk, which is not known for it to be cold, but we went there in January, and they had a solid week where it did not come above 10 degrees. And the first night in the field, we had to dig in. We had one shovel and one pick to dig fighting positions. And we were arguing over who got to dig because it was the only way to stay warm.
Well, yeah, keep moving.
Yeah,
It was-
and if you start
that
feeling
sounds
cold,
like
dig faster. Yep.
that sounds like Fort Leonard Wood in winter too. Fort Leonard Wood in winter is miserable.
Oh God, I spent half my career at Leonard Wood, and I've never actually been assigned there.
Oh no, Minot's pretty bad too.
Yeah, I lived in South Dakota. I grew up there. I can imagine what Minot would be like.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's when you have. I've seen pictures of snow walls at 8 feet tall on the road.
Yep. And a tunnel through it so you could drive.
Yep.
That sounds a lot like the Balkan Mountains in Macedonia too.
Ah.
Just saying that was we had a 113 end up on top of a Connex because there was that much snow and it melted the next day. We had to fucking sling load that fucker off there.
Yep. And then of
When
course
were
you
you in the Balkans Bowl?
The mid 90s.
Okay, I was S47 in 2000 in Bosnia.
Oh yeah, this was pre I4. So
Oh, damn.
the next mission that actually went, our battalion actually went to was I4. So that was in Bosnia Herzegovina, but I stayed back because I was injured in Macedonia. I was on rear detachment. So I was in Germany, which was still fucking cold, by the way. It's just a little bit less harsh conditions because you could go inside in Germany. Those poor bastards in I4 were just living in sand, basically.
Who's shooting at me?
And of course, sandbags were everyone's life.
Eesh.
Biodegradable sandbags. The mastermind of the army for creating busy work.
Oh, that sounds really stupid.
I was in Ramad.
Biodegradable. Come on. I mean, if it was hemp bags, fair enough. But
yeah, I got them.
No, they purposely made them. They purposely made them biodegradable because when you leave, you just leave it there, and eventually you just get a pile of sand, right?
Yeah,
that's the idea.
yeah, after tens of years.
I guess that's
Right.
the Army equivalent of sweeping water off decks.
Right. But, but the problem is the OP was made of so many sandbags that by the time you got done redoing all the sandbags, the ones you did first were already starting to fall to pieces. So you had to go redo it. It was just this constant work. Sandbags all day long.
I don't know when they introduced it, but I'm guessing that this was way before they started buying Heskos.
Probably.
You know,
Yeah.
I got an Article 15 while I was in Bosnia, and part of my extra duty was to mop and sweep our CP, and it had plywood floors.
Oh.
Sweeping wouldn't be so bad, but mopping? Fuck me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mopped it for a week.
And made no change?
Turned to complete splinters?
And 20 years later, here I am, still in, just refusing to leave the army.
Yeah, at this point...
Ooh, 6 torpedoes.
Oh! Oh!
Got him! All 6.
Nice!
Oh, actually, it only registered 4.
Wait a minute. It doesn't have that many tubes, does it?
Yes, it does. This ship does. It has, you got 2, you see the launches right there. I'm sorry. There are 3 barrel launchers on both sides.
Yeah, okay, but so it only has 3 then.
No,
so you would have to.
No, it has 2 triples. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
2 triples per side, so 6 total.
And I took them out with all 6.
Yeah. Ooh, I think I've seen an American warship with torpedo launchers, but it was on what would you call it? An XY assembly. That you just like the Hawk missile system on a trailer. That they could, basically just turn it any way they wanted to, even up, which doesn't really make sense to me.
I'm actually shooting some guys out
How
of the sky.
How much steam or rocket power would they have to use to get that whole thing out?
Well, to launch a torpedo? Not much.
Hey, I found the line.
Well, if we're talking about a torpedo boat, yeah, that would be easy, because the tube is optimized to get it out quickly and easily.
No, same thing for your larger ships that had the torpedo tube assemblies. The only difference would be timing of when the motor would start right before hitting the water, because it would be coming from a higher elevation. That's it. The tube and the actual launch of the torpedo from the tube, same setup across the board. They wanted to harmonize things that way simply because it makes manufacture easy. Especially,
and one station could be used on both sides too. But
not just that. It is if you have a different type of torpedo tube launch assembly mechanism for a destroyer versus a frigate versus a cruiser, that's just more parts and more manufacturing that you need to do. Whereas if you use common parts across all 3, it's just then becomes a question of how many.
And it's also easier for you to train the people who aren't actually trained to maintain the weapons to actually tell them to maintain it, because eventually they'll learn it.
Yeah,
because they'll have to.
Because that's what the military does. They give you a job, which mine was medic, but I was a radio operator most of the time because medics aren't allowed in towers. So
hopefully a medic, in an ideal world, the medic would only be used to remember the other people to drink enough water.
How many torpedoes will hit?
Hey, you forgot about ibuprofen.
1, 2,
3.
I'm pretty sure that
we do have rating specialties that handle that stuff in the Navy. So
in the Army, the entirety of the medic profession is to teach people how to drink more water and take ibuprofen. That will solve even severed limbs.
And you're forgetting avoidance of STDs.
Right. The two most distributed drugs at Sitcall. Guiafenicin for colds, and which is basically Sudafed. To clear your sinuses.
Yeah.
And fucking like you said, ibuprofen for aches and pains, bone spurs, broken limbs, severed limbs,
everything.
Your head your head came off after ibuprofen.
Unconsciousness, near death.
You're forgetting. Yeah, you're forgetting something there. Ibuprofen together with an order of run, of running it off too.
Yeah, you get to run it off.
Missing organs.
Oh, but if you have if you had a stomach problems, it was a Pepto laced with lidocaine. You put some topical lidocaine in there. That person ain't feeling no pain in their stomach anyway.
Yeah, I never had to do that.
Yeah, my skin was very sensitive as a kid, to sunlight. I loved lidocaine in gel, in a gel form.
Well, that's what we put. That's what you put in them to put it.
Mix it with Pepto.
Mix it with Pepto for them to drink, and it just kills their stomach pain. It doesn't solve whatever's making your stomach hurt. Doesn't get rid of that. No, it just
if it's an ulcer, it just makes you not being able to feel that ulcer.
The job of a medic is not to fix you and make you more healthy. It's to make you feel less pain to continue fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
The job to fix you is the doctor's job and the physician's assistant's job. And if you're bad enough to go to those guys, then you're really bad.
Yeah.
I like the Navy when they cut my wisdom teeth taken out. They gave me tie lock.
But that philosophy does make it more easy to understand why the hell the U.S. Navy or Marines, can't remember, that tried to figure out how do we make those damn soldiers not need sleep. Oh, wait a minute, we'll invent something called speed.
No, no. You actually have to look to the Wehrmacht for that, because they were the ones quite literally giving their soldiers crystal meth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But that would just make them fearless. It wouldn't.
And energy, both.
It'll keep them up for days.
Yeah, it's a stimulant.
Yeah, I could understand if it was PCP, but okay, now I'm starting to sound like a drug expert here. Nope, I have never tried any of it.
Yeah, short-term results are more important than long-term effects.
Yes. Yeah. I have two words that exemplify that: Agent fucking Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that horrible stuff, that Monsanto, blah 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 blah. No conspiracy nutcases. They weren't even part of that, or were they? I can't remember now. No, I think they weren't the biggest contributors.
No, things like that are really nuanced. Don't beat yourself. Don't beat yourself. Don't beat yourself.
You're gonna run a grid.
There is an island there.
Oh, I missed that.
Coral reef.
You're a boat, not a tank.
Yeah, you're not an amphibious vehicle. Don't do that.
Those flames were surprisingly realistic. I wonder if they actually just filmed flames and somehow animated it directly. How the hell? Oh, we just saw a close up of the flames. I was impressed by that. So.
Yeah, my uncle was in Vietnam, and he's now in a nursing home because of complications from Agent Orange. So that was nasty shit.
Oh, I believe it.
I can't even. What was it? It was.
It's an herbicide. It's designed.
Yeah, that's the one. They tried to kill off the rice.
We didn't use it on people. We used it to get rid of the greenery.
Got 'em!
They just happened to be in there unofficially.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we got rid of the greenery because fighting in the middle of jungles sucks ass for fucking guerrilla warfare. So if you can get rid of the fucking cover, you can kill them all easily. Of course, the DDT will kill them eventually anyway. So.
Well, it really
I don't know
helps.
about cost. I'm sure it's cheaper
under the green.
I'm pretty sure it's cheaper doing it that way, but wouldn't Napalm have done the same thing basically?
Oh,
just
they tried that too.
They used enough of that too, yeah.
But then again, politically, wouldn't be looking so well.
Let's see what Jay is trying to show.
they lost the politics game when the freaking Buddhist monk set himself on fire. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The old what do you call it, adage that you don't really have to be all that scared or concerned of the ones who try to get the high-end weapons, many big bombs or whatever. No, those crazy people who are willing to set themselves on fire.
Yes,
those are the ones you have to be careful about.
I'm more concerned about the people who are willing to set other people on fire.
Yeah, I'm
no,
more
they're
concerned about
just called
them.
generals.
Or presidents. I mean, sorry. Yeah. What? Really? I'm still.
It was
I don't understand that.
protests. It was literally them, the Buddhists, protesting the war because the whole thing was started on religious grounds anyway. So,
but I'm troubled, not annoyed. But how can you see people wanting to set other people on fire as worse than someone willing to set themselves on fire? Because
it's martyrism versus genocide. That's why.
Yeah, you setting yourself on fire, Bo, is not as bad to me as you setting me on fire.
Well, not for you personally, no. I mean, of course, if we're talking about literal genocide.
But if you're willing to set you on fire, that means you have a very strongly held belief, which I would listen to you. But if you are willing to set me on fire, then you're probably willing to set everybody else in this group on fire.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of in a different way then, because I'm, thinking, okay, this guy will not give up whatever happens. So you can't intimidate this guy. You can't convince him to stop. You can't, use psychological warfare to get him to stop, for example. There's only one way to stop him, and that is to take him out before he throws a hand grenade in a gasoline can or something.
And an interesting way to look at it is actually Robin Williams did it as a joke when talking about the Buddhists who would set themselves on fire as protest, and people would ask, "What the fuck are you doing?" Making you deal with your shit.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a battle.
Doesn't make sense to me. But yeah.
Oh, going full broadside.
Yeah, it's the Bellerophon versus a Nassau. Oh, never mind. He's gone.
I am not familiar with with naval weaponry, but those rounds came off awfully fast.
They have secondary guns that are for short range. I think within 2 kilometers, they fire automatically in the game. They're like,
I know it's just a game still, but it just seemed a bit too.
I see what you're getting at. Yeah, you control the big guns, and then there's the secondary turrets which fire on their own when within range.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, there's a reason why I liked American Soldier, the game, better than what would you call it? Delta Force, for example. Way before real gaming started, so to speak, because it was realistic. You had to, you couldn't cheat unless you, knew how to code or whatever. Yeah. No. But the only way to win is to actually use realistic tactics, etc. And that's the way I would prefer to play a game.
There's a new map. It's all ice and snow.
Oh, it must be North Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mikey Cage, glad to see you stop by.
Hey, Bull, I got a question. After you've watched Jay's video, you're on Team Uni now, right?
That's the only response you'll get, by the way.
Well, we have to remember the great guy that is Unirock. He has all the facts. He has the best facts out there. He knows exactly what's going on. Wait, what do you mean? He's full of shit? Well, fuck.
Who's got the water pistol?
What am I fighting against there?
With acetone in it.
Hey, Jared. You forgot to ask for money first.
No, he'll just divert it from a different budget.
Yeah, the defense budget.
Yeah, to make a wall.
Which
Asshole.
got what was it? Was it a federal judge put an injunction on that shit?
Yeah, but that didn't work, so he did something else too. I mean,
See, that is the problem of electing a pure businessman instead of someone who at least has a brief overview of how government is actually done.
Why do you guys got to keep bringing up my boss into this and disparaging him?
But hey,
because
Trump
I'm
is
his boss.
almost- No, Trump is
Because all of us have
just
had
as bad as any other
All of us have our
politician. He just doesn't know how to hide it.
I don't have my DD-214 yet.
Well, yeah.
Plus, he's an arrogant asshole, but that's a different thing.
Oh, Furball, wait until you get that blanket. It is so comfortable. You are going to love it.
It is a wonderful blanket.
Yeah, it makes the shitty wool ones you get in the military look like ass. Just saying.
They look like ass the first time you touch them. What are you talking about?
That was one of the itchiest fucking blankets I've ever seen.
Oh,
they're still warm. I'll give them that.
Oh, how about this?
I want to bitch for a second that I could be retired right now.
Your
God
point?
damn it!
Again, you're not that old. What are you talking about?
He's done 20.
Mm-hmm.
No crap.
Yeah.
You don't have to be
So you're just a masochist then.
You're just
about the Navy.
You're just realizing that now, Main Gun.
Main Gun, I was dumb enough to
I'm
let the Army promote me, which makes me obligated to give them another 2 years.
And they're going to try to promote you
couldn't
again.
you couldn't just by accident, quote quote, get caught with a joint in your hand or something.
There's even cadences about it. Re-up you're crazy. Re-up you're out of your mind. Come on now.
Oh, Jared, this is great.
Yeah, think about the adventures.
Well, he's in the Army, so he's not aware of the Navy acronym.
You know, I am now a PFC in the first Civ Div. I outrank you.
I haven't re-upped in 10 years because once you get past 10 years, the Army owns you and you have to ask to leave.
This
On
is
your
true.
knees.
Wow.
Here you go, Jared.
Yeah, if you're an E7 and over 10 years, your next enlistment is indefinite. But after that, I went to walk school, and 7 years obligation after that. Then I was an idiot and let them promote me. Now I owe them 2 years before I can once again beg the Army to let me go home.
Oh, will I get him? Will I get?
Okay, my Navy people. What does Navy stand for? Come on, give it to me.
Never again volunteer yourself.
There we go.
Okay, this is pre-World War One. Two, sorry.
Jared, these are great memes on this.
Oh, it is.
Oh, you got a ship listing there. Come on, man, get over there and save some fellow sailors.
Or just nudge it. I don't know.
Nope, he's gone.
Make it. Don't let those sailors.
So
suffer.
what
Kill
is
them.
GTA 2020?
What the?
What is that? That is
Where the hell is this battle happening with all that ice?
North Atlantic.
And why are there
Why are we
buoys
fighting over Greenland?
placed all over the place?
They're
Game over.
fighting over Greenland. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Trump wasn't allowed to buy it from us, so yeah.
That's true. That's very true.
Back when we had actual Navy battles, we fought everywhere.
Yeah, acting like the world police.
You know what? Hang on, guys. Hang on, guys. God's auditor got it right. We need to recommission the ship that Burns is sailing in. It is now the USS Blue Falcon.
Oh. Oh yes, I agree with that.
Hey guys.
No, Chris, it's for my vodka, not your whiskey.
You guys are fine there going underwater, right? We're gonna keep fighting the battle. You're cool there, right? We'll throw you a couple life preservers. You're cool, right?
Here's some donuts for you.
The water's warm. I promise. The water's warm.
I'll never let go. I'll never let go.
Yeah, just remember to.
Don't let go, Jack. Don't let go, Jack.
Hey, I got a message for Lord Burns.
What's up?
He was just a dick.
I love Dick.
Is that the name of the ship? I like Dick.
The things that we can.
Steve in here so he can join us.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing, guys. Steve and I are trying to figure out which week, but there is going to be one of the next couple episodes of ETW. It will not be here on my channel. It will be on his channel.
Nice.
But I think it's still going to be through my OBS and everything, so it'll essentially be the same show, just on his channel instead of here.
Nice.
Either that or they'll bamboozle me into doing it. One of the two.
Well, no. I think a timeout is it would be a good thing for Chris in the chat right now. I'm not a liqueur connoisseur, but using ice to keep your whiskey cold, that should be illegal, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what you got whiskey stones for.
Yeah, I mean, you used granite. What the hell? That's disgusting.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
sometimes you can't
Scotch,
afford the granite,
Scotch
though.
really needs ice and Scotch. That'll work, but
Or just
Are you
drink it
kidding me?
really quickly.
Neat. Fucking hell, man. Drink.
Reminds me, I should have some vodka.
Who needs ice at all? Just drink it neat. Fuck you.
Yep.
Yeah, why?
I didn't say you couldn't.
Why ruin it with ice or water?
Right.
Astro Rex has it actually pretty accurate.
Oh crap! Who's shooting at me?
You want cold whiskey? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, Astro.
Yeah.
Cold vodka, cold rum. That's a good thing.
Yeah, vodka, rum. Oh no! If you want good sake, warm sake.
Oh, warm
Warm
sake all the way.
Yep.
I'll just keep drinking my beer.
Tokyo.
Are you drinking Budweiser?
I am drinking Sam Adams.
Okay.
So
Your
a real
list is
beer.
better
Good
than
beer.
Sarcastic Barman today.
For full disclosure,
I wanted
Oh, nice avoid.
I
Hey,
drifted
Joe,
out of that.
Full
just in
disclosure,
time.
though, this is my last non-Bud Light that I have. So the next one I will be drinking is going to be Bud Light.
Oh, so
I don't-
recycled urine.
I don't classify Budweiser as beer.
Not even. Yeah, watered down. Watered down
yeah, whammy.
filter.
It's,
No,
it's slightly fermented water.
Peace Wasser.
I have to.
Yeah,
I drink magic beer.
you know.
I drink magic beer. Magic beer changes color. Budweiser does not change color. It's the same color going in as it is coming out.
Oh shit! Shit again!
Oh!
Nice avoid.
Damn.
Nice.
Guys, you all need to be drinking Spitfire.
Nah.
That's wonderful beer.
Do you drink it warm or cold?
Warm.
My
What?
enjoyment of
It's,
beer
no,
is
you drink it.
proportional to how transparent it is.
You drink Spitfire at about 5 degrees Celsius.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
Or you drink rocket fuel if you happen to live in the USSR and work as a
one.
rocket engineer.
So
Hey, Burns, I just got to ask, when you do those drifting maneuvers, is it like pulling the e-brake and just sliding around?
pretty much, yeah.
I drop anchor. That's what it is. I drop anchor.
Oh, the battleship move.
I would love to see him port round against one of those enemies, though. That would be hilarious. Like,
Maybe if I had a destroyer, I probably could do it.
Now, what
I'm
I would
using a cruiser right now.
You steal a burrito first for a girl to get
nice, and then finally get her admiral father to somewhat accept you being her significant other.
Yeah, you have to accept the terms of surrender first.
Yeah.
It's a Tokyo drift maneuver thing.
Yeah, pretty
Oh
much.
crap! I'm on fire.
So
my ship's on fire! My ship's on fire!
If there was any beer from anywhere in the world that I would love to get my hands on, Bee's Knees. It's an Australian. It's an Australian. It is an Australian beer. It is a honey beer, and it tastes amazing.
Is it the Bee's Knees?
But does it taste like it half of it is sugar, or is it
No. It's set up like a honey mead, but it is fermented and filtered like a regular beer.
Oh, now you're getting me excited.
Yeah.
Jared, if I ever get lucky enough to make it to Australia, I'll bring you back some.
Well, the wife wants to go down there. Well, the wife wants to go down there, and there are a number of people in the relative area that. Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Damn, you're slow, Jared. You're slow.
No, it's not that I'm slow. It's
brown chicken, brown cow.
It's trying to not get myself in too much trouble.
Hey, you're married. You're always in trouble.
That's why I said too much trouble. There's always going to be a little bit of trouble. Ooh, Super Shine. That I think I remember that one. Okay. Peter, Aussie Baller, that label looks vaguely familiar. Can you blur the picture a bit, kind of make it two of them kind of out of focus? Then maybe I can recognize it and let you know if I've had it or not.
Let's see what we can do with the Wyoming.
But yeah, I have to say, probably the highlight of, well, both highlight and low light of my first trip to Australia was being at a bar. Being at a bar, having this little Sheila literally back up into me on accident, and spitting image of Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, nice.
And I was married at the time and wasn't going to risk it.
So when you informed her, I'm sorry, I'm an American sailor, and her response was, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were gay.
No. It was one of those very easy to talk to, and it was like, I'm married. No, I'm married. Don't. I'm married.
There's something that would be way more efficient. Just picture her as if she was Kate Smurfwaite.
Huh?
Hey, Jared, no? You know for a fact what happens in Australia stays in Australia unless it's on fire, and then you need penicillin to make it go away.
Again, my personal standard got in the way of a good time. I can admit it.
Well, I told you about my trip down to Busan when I got a Thai massage. Yeah, I can recognize with that, Jared.
Yeah.
So you had a quote Thai massage while on booze?
No, I was completely sober. And I wanted an actual Thai massage. I've never had a Thai massage before. I didn't realize that the only bodily contact between the masseuse and you was their joints.
Was a feet.
You know, elbows, knuckles, and knees.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so fucking painful. She was about 80 pounds, and at one point the only points of contact between her and me were her two knees and her two elbows. That's the only thing that was touching.
Wow. I've tried it once, but it was only a 5-minute session. It's a test one, or what do you call it? A sample session, I guess. The first thing I started wondering about when I came into the room is that above the bed, or the gurney, or whatever it's called, there was a handlebar.
Now you know why.
Weird things. But
this was straight up on the floor, and I just wanted a massage. And after elbows and knees. She told me to roll over, and she's rubbing up on my legs. She slowly creeps up my thighs and stops. And I swear to God, for like 30 seconds, just sat there.
Oh
my God!
And then wait, and then went back down to my feet and my ankles, and then back up to my thighs and the crotch, and stopped. Waiting for me to respond. And after she did that 3 times, she crawled up towards my face and said, "Scusi, you want massage here?"
ML2, bad timing, dude. You should have been there 2 minutes.
Hey, look at those torpedoes.
3 are gonna hit.
And 1.
At least 3.
2.
Oh, no, only 2.
Nope.
So, so did you get the move to where she grabbed your ankle and then used her heel right at the nook, right at the bottom of your ass, to try to get the top of your hamstring and then into the glutes?
No, but she did put me in some really weird positions, pulling and tugging on things that
you didn't know were there.
Don't go there, not that spot.
Be careful. Your wife's laser eyes can move easily through miles of Earth.
She's a room away right now as I tell this story. She knows the story. I
Doesn't
turned
matter.
it down. I swear to God, I turned it
She's-
down. I just wanted a
apparent-
massage, and I left in
She
more
is
pain than I
apparent. She
arrived
had
in.
radar for ears.
You know who's been really quiet today since my my video came out?
Who? Unirock?
Yeah, he did one thing on Twitter, and that was about it. Isn't done anything else all day.
That's probably because he realized.
blocking.
Yeah, that's probably because he realized that shitstorm we had last night kind of demolished anything he thinks he could have said. Basically,
That reminds me, I downloaded that entire live stream last night.
why? Oh my god!
I'm a
like, that
masochist.
was
What can I say?
that was like for them to sit there and quibble over whether I was ambushed or not is just fucking ridiculous. Of course I was ambushed. I hadn't talked to those people in 3 years, and they co-opted someone's hangout to interrogate me about fucking Steve McRae. Yes, it's an ambush. Whether they meant to do it or not as an ambush, I was ambushed.
Oh no, it was intended as such. They saw an opportunity and took it. You cannot play innocent when I know the way Athena is. When Athena actually says, "Hey, this is go ahead, air your grievances about me." Because I remember that hangout. That's how he started it. That's what he said it was about. And that's why very few people were even interested in coming in, because one...
Right, who has grievances about Athena, for fuck's sake?
Oh, no.
The sweetest person I've ever seen.
No, Bolt, the people who do have grievances with Athena also realized they would come off like the raging cock gobblers they are for actually voicing it in that platform publicly.
Oh yeah, they would have been like the I know who you're talking about too. It's the same ones that came in there actually.
No, a few others too.
Oh yeah, but I'm just like Steve said on that live stream yesterday. He's like, Athena, those people treat you like shit. They do, and I am tired of them personally treating Athena like shit, because that's just not. It's hardly fair to Athena to do that. It's not his fault. He has a speech impediment. Seriously.
Oh, speaking of, I find it funny. So, Athena actually tweeted yesterday, I believe it was, directly to one of them asking, how do you personally tell the difference between someone who simply has a speech impediment versus someone who is pretty much an abject moron?
Right.
No answer.
No answer, of course, yeah.
Come on.
What are you waiting for?
I have to wait for my cannons to reload.
Oh.
They take 30 seconds.
Oh, you're on an older ship. That's why.
I'm on the Wyoming.
Yeah. And by the way, Furball, Astro Rex actually has a good point. Just a massage in a parlor with leopard print wallpaper? Yeah, right.
Hey. It was in a very normal place of town. I didn't have to go down any dark alleys.
Well, it is Busan, so...
Yeah.
You're not helping yourself yet.
Isn't it all dark out?
I went back and told my local national criminal investigator, I was like, hey, this happened to be in Busan this weekend. Would KNP care about this? And he's like, oh, no, they know. 80% of massage parlors do it.
They know.
Okay, what's left? Oh, only a carrier. Where's that carrier?
And Jared, I'm down to the Bud Light.
Anyway, I came in to congratulate on Thoughts on by Jay Brown on that video. That was really well done. I appreciate that on a personal level, obviously, because Unirock, somehow I'm a sycophant by association. I don't know. But yeah, I'm getting a little tired of people having this hate boner for Steve McRae and using people to get to him. And it's like, you're all a bunch of shit for doing that shit.
Yeah, just admit where your actual problem is.
Right. It's almost worse than attacking the person instead of what the person is saying.
It's
almost
worse than that. It's worse than that, huh? Because you're involving people who have nothing. A lot of times have nothing to do with the situation. Like Dead Kennedy, he has nothing to do with it, and just because he came on Steve's channel. Like literally, it was the night I was in there with Dead Kennedy and Dick Dawson on Steve's channel. That's when that happened. So
yeah, and I remember getting messages, especially from Dick, asking, "What the hell is Uni on about?" It's like, well, what was going on? What were you doing? It's like, oh, we were on a show with Steve. It's like, that's what it was. That's literally all it was. You were on a show on Steve's channel with him. That is all the issue is.
Yeah. But anyway, I gotta go. I gotta run. Sorry, guys, but it was good to be in here for a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
Later, Bull. Good seeing you.
Later, Bull.
It was great to have a dose of Army from all this Navy crap. So, yeah.
Well, Bo, if you want, go talk to Sean. Sean does get the link, and he's one of your other Army buddies who's more than welcome to come in. And Main Gun there.
Army people in here.
Hang on, Main Gun there is half Army, arguably the better half.
Half.
He's also an amphib.
Army or not?
No, we might live in the dirt like them, but that's where the similarities end.
You don't call them Army. Do not call them Army.
No, half Army, the better half.
Maybe I should start referring to Jared as a soldier. Maybe I'm not sure.
It's equivalent of calling a Navy person a coastie.
I wouldn't go with that.
All right, you jarheads. Catch you later.
Later, Bo.
Hey, man.
Later, Bull.
Make it easy.
I mean, the Marines try to do everything. I mean, they play on the water, they play in the air, but let's admit it, you guys have the most fun in the dirt.
Hey, Jared, God's Auditor says he's ex-Army. I don't have enough time to jump into the stream, and I'm out now. That's bullshit, man.
Wait, you came out without it? What?
If you were in the service, you're welcome in this stream.
If you are or were in the service.
I'm the only one that's still in.
Excuse you?
No,
That ought to tell you something.
Let's hear it, Main Gun.
No, I'm just saying you're the only one that's still in. That ought to tell you something.
I'm the dumbest of them all.
That carrier is definitely trying to keep his distance, isn't he?
Yes, he is. The I think is it the Hoshu.
Really,
Oh, it's
and it's really his only hope.
Yeah, the only thing look like the only aircraft he's got left are a attack aircraft. That's it. He must be out of torpedo bombers and bombers.
Yeah, that's about the time that you just go ahead and surrender.
I didn't know you were French, Jared.
Oh,
Hang on, it's one of those, you have to recognize the situation, and would you rather do that and take the unnecessary loss of life?
He's
Today
Japanese.
is a good
He'd fall
day
on
to
his.
die.
He's Japanese. He'd fall on his sword. So.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to call it quits for the night.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
Because keep in mind, depending on what country actually puts you into a military detention center or prison camp, you might actually have a way to get out.
Yeah, if you could steal a 9mm. I'm not sure what you were getting at there.
Oh no, it one of the things you have to consider is how much there is a certain level of conditions and respect that are still supposed to be given to your fellow combatants, even when they have surrendered and you take them as actual prisoners of war. There is a reason why a lot of the Wehrmacht were actually running towards the West, because they would rather surrender to the British and Americans, because they knew what was going to happen if they surrendered to the Russians.
Oh yeah, because some people or some armies, etc., tend to actually go by the rules and not be disgusting like the Russians, who had a tendency to even shoot their own people for running from the front lines.
Yeah. Now the U.S. at times did have their own faults, did have their own issues when it came to that, but on the aggregate, the British and American contingent side of things treated surrendered prisoners far better, especially towards the end when there was the infrastructure behind them to actually allow for the transportation and policing of those surrendered forces.
The Russians took it a little bit more personal just because, well, I mean, they were basically invaded when they were supposed to be allies. So.
Yeah, they did have the largest losses.
Yeah, it kind of puts a sour taste in the mouth.
Stalingrad.
Phrasing, I guess. Yeah. No, wait, that wasn't that wasn't part of the time sign. The sour taste there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Which mission are you
tap out
doing?
and take a. What? I think I'm gonna take a breather.
Yeah. So, well, we're going to be closing this up in about 10 minutes or so, anyways, because people are going to be going to movie night, which is supposed to start in about 20 minutes.
I don't know if
It
I want to
seems like
stay up that
we're
late.
having a full deck.
Oh, I'm not staying up that late. I've already been up far long enough.
Oh, and next week, I'll be late getting in here.
On Friday or Saturday?
Friday.
Okay.
As long as
I'm
you
starting
and not your wife is late. I mean,
I'm starting actual work next week and 12-hour shifts, and Friday I'm on until 8 p.m.
Ah, well, yeah, so you would still be on the way home.
Yeah. Well, it's 8 p.m. I get relieved to drive the car back to the office to download everything and then drive home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no worries, we'll be here anyways.
Yeah, I'll just call you from the car. Keep me company.
You got that option too.
Yeah.
That is another fun bit about the Google Meets is you can use either the mobile app or use the call-in number that it generates now too.
Yeah. And life around here is
you said
interesting.
wrong.
You would be amazed at how quickly we can ship people when we suddenly need 40 more.
But Jared, you said it wrong. No, the weird thing about Meets, or the Meet, is that you can phone it in. I know it was a terrible.
I don't know about you, but I never phone it in.
Yeah. Anywho, yep, I'm tapping out. Thank you.
All right, I gotta finish writing that.
See you next time. Yeah. See ya.
All right,
I gotta
later,
finish
Bo.
writing that. I gotta finish writing that ransom note. So I gotta take off.
Do I want
Remember,
to
use
know?
magazines that you haven't touched with your fingers.
Yeah, wear gloves.
I know. Oh shit!
You forgot the gloves, didn't you?
God damn it!
Have you
He's
been
using his old
arrested
porn
before,
mags.
or do you plan on getting arrested in the future? Because that's all that it matters.
I'm using a different name.
Yeah, but your fingerprints don't change my name.
Oh shit! I ate too many crayons.
Well, when that's the primary source of protein in your diet, and as a Marine, it is, I can understand.
Don't worry, you are on the road to recovery.
I'm sorry, I've just got, just to show my support, got one thing to say. Raw. It's the best grunt I can do.
My mother thanks you.
Aww. Tell her I miss her.
I will.
Always a fun time. Always.
Oh God, where is you wish to fuck with this week?
His phone crapped out.
Oh, that was so much fun last week, and he didn't even know.
Leon from the live chat, the hardest part isn't changing your fingerprints, it's getting the person you take them from to stop screaming.
True words. True words.
Yeah, but isn't that what the chloroform is for?
Crap!
I was
know,
using a
forgetting
bat.
something else too. Bats work.
Yeah.
Bats work well.
Well, true. It probably is harder to trace the sale of a nondescript $20 bat from Walmart.
Even better is like
Or a 4x2.
a tie, because when you start to use it, it looks a little erotic, and then at that one point where you're like, "Oh fuck, this isn't fun anymore," you get to see the look on their face.
I take it you know from experience.
You need to advise me of my rights before you ask me that question.
Well, what, you think you have rights here? You're in the army, boy.
You got rights and you got lefts.
Oh, you excited factard. Caught his attention. Oh, it was a tactical cube. Yay, succeeded.
I like this ship because I'm actually 8 ships.
Side tangent. I just have to point out that I'm sitting in my office right now with the doors closed so my wife doesn't have to overhear everything. And I open the door to see what she's doing out here. And she's watching Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Without you?
Wait. New or old?
Old.
Yes. The new one sucked.
Again, without you.
In public, this is a public statement. I love this woman.
She got a sister?
She does, but her sister's like, what, 22?
No, she's older than that now.
23 maybe? She's young. There's like 16 years between the two. What I'm saying is that her sister's young and my wife is old. But beautiful, and I love her.
Oh, Christ, you're going to pay for that.
Seriously, I was like, she's gotten quiet out there. Maybe she's playing Minecraft, and I open the door. I was like, holy fuck, she's watching Mystery Science Theater!
I felt the same way with my last ex. I walked in the living room one time, and here she was with her swords and a whetstone, doing it by hand.
Oh.
Never should have gave her up.
But at the same time, if she's handling it like that, you know she knows how to use them.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. She had this. I was going to leave her the shotgun one time. So I was going on a trip, and she says, "Honey, if anybody breaks in, I'm grabbing this." And she pulls out this Spanish lady's sword, and it's a lightweight thing, only maybe 5.5, 6 pounds, little bitty thing, designed for women. God, could she swing that sumbitch?
Well, if any of you have me on Twitter, you saw what I posted 2 weeks ago for my birthday when my wife asked me, what cake do you want for your birthday? And I pulled out the cake tins for a ball, but it's in halves. And she looked at me and said, let me guess, boobies? No, a Death Star. And then she actually made me a Death Star birthday cake.
Nice.
Yeah, she's saving the
Very
other one
nice.
for when the kids aren't around.
Yeah, but her first response was boobies. And if I had asked for boobies, I guarantee you my wife would have baked me boobies.
Nice. Nice on both, actually.
Well, yeah. I just ate the last of the Death Star tonight.
So does her sister have, I don't know, daddy issues? I'm just asking. I mean, I'm just saying.
It helps.
She's engaged. She's like 22, 23. She's engaged for the second or third time. So take that as it would have may.
So you have a chance, just not immediately.
Exactly.
So wait a couple of weeks then.
I am passing no judgment on her and her relationship choices. But I will give you a call when the opportunity is open. It's starting to get creepy.
Starting to?
What do you mean starting?
Oh. I
must have just
know
got
I
here.
haven't- I was going to say, I know I haven't been around for a while because I've not been around, but there's a good chance I won't be here next week. Because it's a good chance that Rosie will have turned me into a granddad next Friday.
Aww. Well, pre-congratulations.
Yeah.
It looks like he's coming early.
That's
How?
no problem.
Wait. How early?
He's due on the 14th of February.
Okay, a few weeks isn't terrible, but is still going to be a little bit of a challenge initially, but should be fine otherwise.
Jared, let's say I'm not terribly worried because Rosie was the latest. I think Rosie was went longest of my three, and she only went to 37 weeks.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. It's the weird diabetes she's got.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been too long to hear that.
It's the it's complicated diabetes she's got that's part of the problem. In fact, he very nearly came on the Monday before Christmas.
Ooh.
She started having contractions and took in the hospital.
Might be too soon for that.
She was lucky because they released her late Christmas Eve.
How is Mama doing?
Oh, she's not too bad. She's spending a lot of time laying on the sofa because, like,
Bed rest is a bitch.
Yeah, well, they did a ultrasound. When was it? Wednesday they did an ultrasound, and they said he's over 7 pounds already.
Good hardy stock.
This is why he is not going to be going to full term.
Yeah, he's ready.
Full term. They reckon he could be 14 pounds.
Ooh.
I want out. I want out now.
Yeah,
that's a very large bowling ball.
Because basically from like now to when he due is he can put on almost double his weight again from where he is now, and he's big now.
That boy's going to come out saying that boy's going to come out saying, "I need a razor and a beer."
Yeah.
Well, considering that the drinking age in the UK is birth, it's acceptable.
Well, actually, that's weird. You can't go. You can't go into a pub and get alcohol until you're 18. But you can. But there are various places you can be given alcohol at home from any age, and it's not illegal.
But you can't buy it till a certain age. Is what it is.
You can't buy it, and it's really weird.
Well,
it's like
isn't there?
That's how I think it should be here, personally.
Well, I was going to say, isn't there a provision like your parents can order it for you if you're out at a restaurant? Again, as long as they are there with you, kind of thing.
You can. I think it's 14 for drinking in a restaurant with a main meal.
Yeah.
So you have to order. You can't just order. You can't just order a starter or something. You got to have a full main meal.
A proper meal.
You can't belly up to the bar.
Yeah, and I know that I'm not quite sure whether because obviously the rules do keep changing every now and then. But I know when I was a teenager, you could drink in a private club from the age of 15.
But did they have a hard time reading your ID under the candlelight?
I drank in pubs and various places from the age of 13. Guess how many times
we're going back to oil lamps then.
Guess how many times I was ever ID'd in a pub?
None.
Correct.
Yeah.
I was never ever ID'd in a pub.
Well, hang on. Did they have photo IDs back then?
No. Did they have photos back then?
Come on, it was oil-based paint. So, I gotta ask: would it be wrong for me to ask, or when I said hey to Sidestrike, how's the afterlife? Because I don't know who's running the account. I'm assuming it's JC, but
I would have.
You know what I
no,
mean?
Yeah,
I didn't do it.
Jay,
I had to ask
sent,
the question.
I just sent out a hug because I was thinking the same thing, and I almost clicked the smiley face with a halo and had to delete.
All right. Well,
it just.
Well, to give
it's the account, you kind of.
Yeah.
He would appreciate the joke. He would.
Definitely. And it's honestly, it is a question of whether or not the person on the other end is.
It's JC, so JC would have taken it. I'm quite sure.
We love you, girl.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna give everyone time to go over and get ready for movie night and stock up as you need to. we will see you all coming up soon. Like I said, later this weekend. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it tomorrow afternoon or Sunday during the day, but I will be doing some gameplay stuff offline in the Discord server. So if you want to be a part of that, come on in. And by the way, yeah, how about these analytics, Uni, for a channel that has only how many subscribers?
I'm stuck at 149 right now, damn it.
You have
I went
more.
from 130
Hang on.
to 149 today.
Let's point this out. You have more views than you do subscribers.
Yeah. And in less time than I usually get, you know, a tenth of my subscribers.
Well, it sounds like we need a bunch of mirrors.
Yeah. So, with that, everyone have fun. We will see you on the next time and catch you guys elsewhere. Good night.
Later, folks.
See ya.